ladies and gentlemen, there is one thing I know, and it is that you do not go full one way, and we will not use the R word today, Zach. No. Zach.
You're not my mother. I'm a grown man.
Welcome to Thoughts from the Movies. We are live today from the Union Fitness Studios. Union Fitness is located on the North Shore of Pittsburgh.
Woo woo.
Union Fitness is more than a traditional gym.
Damn
It's a
right.
place where you can transform yourself inside and out based around a variety of classes like fitness, yoga, strength, surviving jungle training. At Union Fitness, they believe it is their duty to hold themselves and the Viet Cong to a higher standard. They practice what they preach and uphold the values that make the Union Fitness the community that it is. Go to unionfitness.com today. Sign up for a consultation and get a free TiVo. Through Union, there is strength. And there is no greater strength than three white guys that are going to tiptoe around some very controversial topics in an attempt to talk about a movie they really love. This is Thoughts from the Movies, Tropic Thunder.
Bum, bum, bum.
Justin, did I pick this one?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I picked this one because you love this movie. That's why.
I do love it.
You do love this movie, and you know what's more fun than a movie that you need to kind of tiptoe around. Oh, hope everyone heard about how Josh got ice and made some lame excuse. Go ahead and get it out.
What?
There's an ice in the fridge that I've been cooling.
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was like, the R word? Use it now?
No, at Denny.
I thought that's what he was saying. Like, go ahead.
Get it out.
Just do it. Get it out of the way.
Get it out. Sorry, had I known that Denny was going to hawk the beginning of Thoughts from the Movies. It looks like it's in the upper right hand. It's like laying down on its side.
Is it in a can?
It's red, white, and blue.
It's in a can?
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is the most disgusting thing they're going to force me to do.
Let me...
Oh, wow. Thanks for getting it out.
It was like a bend and snap.
It was a bend and
Nicely
snap.
done.
Nice. Well done. All right.
It looks like one of those popsicles, and it makes me want one of those popsicles.
Do you just want to drink this for me?
No,
The
I want a
bomb.
popsicle.
Damn
Those red, white, and blue popsicles. It's Smirnoff Ice in a can. Never seen that before. I'm sure it's not terrible.
It does taste exactly like the popsicle.
Yeah, I
Nice.
mean,
Popsicle.
it's fucking
Fruity
delicious.
and, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I do have a can of Booty Sweat in my house, and I should have brought it.
Do you really?
Yes, but it's, 10 plus years old, so
That's pretty cool.
I don't think it's
How did
safe.
you get that?
It was just lying around the office because it was a dream. This is a DreamWorks movie, so it was just.
So
at
it
the
just
office,
happened to disappear to your apartment.
and I just took it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like never gonna drink it, but it's cool to have for sure.
That is really cool to have. So we watched Tropic Thunder because it's one of Justin's favorite movies, and we were kind of picking a bunch of different movies, and I thought, yeah, why the fuck not? Zach had never seen it.
Correct.
First reactions, how do you feel?
Honestly,
Yeah.
it was okay.
Just okay?
We've talked about this before, though, where the hype was just too real, I think.
Oh. I mean, there's definitely part of the movie that's, like, boring.
It was good.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was funny,
Yeah?
but I was expecting to be, like, dying laughing the whole time. But the parts that were funny were, like, pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, I think it definitely goes in waves. They don't keep you up here the whole time. They kind of let you go through a roller coaster on the movie. Like the beginning is you pee your pants funny all the way up to like when the director blows up.
Yeah.
And then like it kind of goes into a lull, and then like once he gets kidnapped and he's doing the special Jack like plays and the yeah, like Robert
Right.
Downey Jr. is going through an existential crisis, and like it gets good then again at the end. But like the weird part where like he keeps calling Ben Stiller keeps calling Matthew McConaughey about the TiVo, and stuff is kind of like But yeah.
Do you know that it was supposed to be Owen Wilson as the Matthew McConaughey character? But, like, Owen Wilson had, like, tried to kill himself, like, right
Oh.
before they started
Denny,
like
what
filming.
is your fucking deal? I opened your goddamn Smirnoff. It was the worst icing in the history. Is it icing somebody if you just leave a case of ice in the room? Is that actually icing somebody? Or is that just like being fucking careless with your dumb fucking case of shit beer?
I
Is
don't
it
know-
even beer?
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what
Dog
icing
shit.
somebody means. Is that like
Wow.
giving them the cold shoulder?
Wow.
When you
Oh.
say icing someone, I think of Mr. Freeze.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't know what-
Lord Jesus.
Like insulting you? What is icing?
I don't know.
It's like
Denny.
when you surprise somebody with a Smirnoff Ice and they have to drink it.
Why would you have to drink it?
It's just the rules of icing.
This. So oddly enough, I had the same exact conversation with the guys on the Union podcast. And CJ's sitting in Zach's chair, and Todd was sitting in your chair, and Todd had the same exact reaction that you just had as CJ and I explained it to him. Like, it's like the same conversation just happened.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I'm not alone.
there you
Yeah.
go. All right, so anyway, Tropic Thunder.
I think to
Go
say
ahead.
something about Zach's point though, I think Tropic Thunder, and again, I mentioned this before on the show. When I first saw it in the theater, I didn't love it. I was like, okay. But the more I watched it, the more I grew to love it. And I also think it's one of those ones that is really enhanced by seeing it with other people.
Oh, for sure.
Because it's,
I believe that.
when you all laugh collectively, like it's just when you watch movies like this by yourself, it's kind of like that. You're like, oh, ha, that's a little funny. But it's one of those ones that really needs sort of the crowd reaction to it, I think, for a lot of it.
I think, too, part of the charm of this movie, much like Napoleon Dynamite, is the quotes.
Yeah.
Most of these quotes have been whitewashed from what we consider highbrow conversation at this point. So, like, a lot of the quotes and references that you would, like, bar back and forth with your buddies, you can't even do anymore with this movie.
Yeah. I mean, at one point, I'm sure this
Justice
was.
just got
You
the
can still
shit-eating
do it.
grin.
You can still do it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Trust me.
Oh,
You
Jesus.
can do it.
We'll get to that part of the show.
Yeah.
But no, at one point, I was sitting there and I was like, wow, like, the war in Vietnam was really just like a senseless conflict. And then I had to stop myself and be like, I don't think I was supposed to think that during this movie. Like, let me get back into the zone. Like,
Yeah, I don't think that's what their intention was.
I was
It's
like, was
also-
it worth it? Was it worth it, America?
I think it's also a little bit, for me at least when I was watching it, like the plot of the movie is so like meta and so dense
Yeah.
into going down
Yeah,
that
yeah,
commentary
yeah,
that
yeah.
for when you're watching it the first time, I think you're just trying to like keep up and everything and be like, okay, so they're doing this, but they're really doing this. Like it's one you actually kind of have to think about. So that's taking away from just like the stupidness of it all and like focusing on the funny bits.
Yeah, and I think maybe on a second viewing I would laugh more. But like at one point when they go to rescue Ben Stiller, he's like, there's a scene where he's like shrouded in darkness, kind of, but only like part of his face is illuminated. And I was like, I've never seen it, but like I think this is supposed to be like a callback to like Marlon Brando and like
Yes.
Full Metal Jacket.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
well,
like,
no, not Full Metal Jacket.
Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
And I was like in that headspace where like I was probably missing out on like some
You're
of the
like
funny
trying
shit.
to pick up the references. And,
yeah.
I
So
get
like
that.
a second viewing now, knowing like already enjoying like the meta-ness of it,
Yeah.
I
Right.
might be able to like enjoy.
Yeah,
the
like once you
comedy
get the
more.
plot and like once you actually know what it is, you don't have to worry about it. You can
Yeah,
just-
I wasn't
yeah.
expecting it to be like as quote unquote deep as it was.
Right.
In the first, when I saw it, I remember thinking like, I was confused at the beginning with all the fake trailers, and I wanted to give you the reminder, but I forgot to do it because in the theater, those were playing on the screen, and I'm like, are these real movies or are they not real movies? Because
Yeah.
they're like right at the point where the
Yeah.
trailers would play
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
theater,
yeah.
and then it led right into the actual movie, and I'm like, I'm a little confused about what's going on here. So I think the first time is definitely a little bit weird just because the way it's presented, but it's one that I found ages really well in terms of the comedy.
I think, just like kind of going over the plot real quick. So there are some big name actors who are kind of taking shots at other well-named actors, but it's Ben Stiller, Robert Downey Jr., Jack Black are like the big three. And they are making this war movie. It's supposed to be a really serious movie to help the big action star Ben Stiller kind of get some cred. It's another feather in the cap for Robert Downey Jr.'s character, who is playing the super Like he's won 5 Oscars or something. It says
Yeah, like unheard of.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jack Black's character being the Martin Lawrence, Tyler Perry, like does the Eddie Murphy Nutty Professor bit where he's just all the characters in the fats, and this is like supposed to be his big serious role to like help solidify him as a real actor. And so they have like a rookie director who like is terribly mismanaging everything, and Danny McBride shows up.
The best character.
In a role created solely for him.
Danny McBride.
The best
Blowing
fucking
shit
character.
up, setting it on fire.
Yeah.
Pyrotechnics.
Yeah, so basically it turns out that they're like $400 million over budget or something in one day of shooting.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
just terrible. It's all
Yeah.
going poorly.
And so the director decides to go guerrilla style after some persuasion from the guy who had wrote the book that the movie was based on, to go guerrilla style and make them think that they were actually needed to survive or whatever. Turns out that they're actually still Viet Cong in the woods, and they are going to attempt to kidnap the actors to ransom money kind of thing. And hilarity ensues.
Yeah, like all the actors think that they're filming a movie
Right.
in the Vietnamese wilderness.
Right.
But it actually, the director steps on a landmine, it gets blown up, and then they're actually just stuck in the Vietnamese wilderness.
Right.
And they think that they're shooting a movie, but it's all real. Like they're being
Yeah.
chased by these actual like drug dealers and things
Right.
like that. So
The blowing up scene leads to maybe my favorite part in the movie when Ben Stiller puts the spike on the head and he starts doing the bit for it. Like
Oh,
he
yeah.
starts talking, he's like, "I'm British. I'm smarter than you." Like,
Yeah.
and the mouth is going.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
god.
I mean, that is. I think I would know a prop when I see one. And I mean,
so funny.
yeah, it's really good.
One of my favorite like meta jokes of the whole movie is because it's something that I've taken exception to, is they make a joke in regard to like Ben Stiller's performance in Simple Jack. They reference it to Sean Penn and I Am Sam,
Oh no.
and saying like he got snubbed for an Oscar, and I found this out like a couple years ago, but because I love I Am Sam, like I cannot watch that movie without bawling the entire fucking time. And then one day I was like, it was on Netflix and I watched it and I cried for like 2.5 hours, and I was like, there's no way he didn't win an Oscar for this. And he didn't. He
He didn't.
lost. Do you know who he lost to?
what year was that? 2001?
2001.
For lead actor?
Yeah.
Russell Crowe.
No.
For Gladiator.
No. He lost to Denzel for Training Day.
Okay.
Oh.
Which, like, Training Day is, like, a great fucking movie.
Right.
But in terms of, like, acting performances, like,
Oh, dude, you gonna shit on Denzel in Training Day?
Sean
Alonzo?
Penn-
Oh, boy.
Sean Penn plays a severely handicapped man for
I
2.5 hours.
I feel like
very
we're
well.
about to head down the Morgan Freeman route, where it's like Morgan Freeman's just Morgan Freeman in every movie. Like Denzel's just Denzel in every movie.
No.
A lot of them.
debatable.
A lot of them. What's
he's
different
got
between
range.
Training Day and Remember the Titans?
I've never seen Remember the
Oh,
Titans.
man. Really?
No.
Very different, though.
Should have done that one.
Denzel as a person has qualities that are in every role, like his confidence and sort of his firmness and like his just burning sort of personality, right?
Right.
He's very magnetic, very
Right.
charismatic, and that transfers into a lot of his roles. But there's different ones for sure. I mean, Training Day is, I think, the most extreme role, that I can think of that he played in terms of, attitude and swagger and all these different things, aggression maybe. But I mean, his career spans so long. that
Yeah.
John Q.
John Q,
John Q.
Glory. I mean, Remember the Titans. Even lesser ones like Pelham 1, 2, 3 and things like
Mm.
that. Man on Fire. Like he's certainly.
I mean, my favorite is Malcolm X. He kills Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Because
He killed Malcolm X?
Yeah, pretty much.
He did.
Oh my
Um,
god.
But
Yeah.
he's on. There's not a scene without him in it.
Yeah.
He's on
fair.
screen for all 120 minutes or whatever it is, and he delivers every time.
He's just a very powerful actor. Yeah, he's very,
Yeah.
and that's why he plays a lot of like badass dudes or
Right.
like really cool guys. But I think there's differences in his
Okay.
performances. Maybe I don't know if he's comparable to Ben Stiller, which we'll talk about later in the show.
Mm.
But yeah, certainly I can see where you're coming from on that one.
But
Yeah, no, Sean Penn did not win because he went full, full handicap.
Rhymes with Schmeatard.
we're not doing this. I'm not. Mongoloid last week was more than enough. We do not need to do this again.
I'm just saying it rhymes with Schmeatard.
Right. Okay, so what do we got here? So kind of the topics that we're going to get into today. We kind of did the opening comment section. So we're going to talk about the fake movies / Hollywood stereotypes. Then we're going to talk about it, and we're going to try really hard to be professional.
Sounds like a lose-lose.
Right. We're going to talk about, Robert Downey Jr. in blackface and how even still to this day he has somehow not been canceled for doing that. And then we're going to talk about better or worse than. I have a pretty wide range of movies that I'm going to go with. And then Zach's got some Ben Stiller movie quotes that we're going to try to guess. Then I'm going to give you our top 10 my top 10 Ben Stiller characters of all time, and we'll finish with overrated, underrated, the actors. But first, fake movies, Hollywood stereotypes. Justin, as the insider, kind of guide us through this, man. Like, how much of this is like actual truth, and like these are real scenarios that like aren't like they're making a joke of, and how much of it is kind of just like silly, like what we think are Hollywood stereotypes.
Did you guys see This Is the End?
Of course.
I did.
Okay, so
That'll be showing up a little later in this show as well.
It's a lot like that movie in that so much of it is kind of like real things, but it's also people making fun of those things, right? So like in This Is the End, those are all real people, and they're just sort of like heightened versions of themselves.
Michael Cera's that much of a badass?
I don't know Michael Cera,
Okay.
so I don't know if he's
All right.
ever hanging out with Rihanna or, doing that kind of stuff. But like, and they're all airing like actual grievances, and like it's semi their own personalities or whatever. This movie, all of the actors in it are based on real things that happen and real stereotypes, and especially in bigger event movies, because you're trying to reach as wide an audience as possible. So you're trying to hit all these different things by bringing in all these different people, right? So you have like in this where Robert Downey Jr. is the heavyweight, award-winning actor. He's like the Meryl Streep sort of character who anchors the cast. And then Ben Stiller is the action guy who did a really big franchise a while ago but has since cooled off and is trying to get some of that back. And Jack Black obviously plays the comedy guy with a drug problem. Like he's just thrown in for the comedic relief or
Plays
whatever.
himself.
Yeah, you have Jay Baruchel is the new guy who's like just happy to be there, and like it's his first big break.
Really?
You hate Jay Baruchel?
I will never forgive Jay Baruchel for making Goon.
And he did 2 Goons.
Yeah,
In the sequel.
and then he made it again.
The first Goon I thought was supposed to be pretty good, wasn't it?
It's terrible.
Oh.
It's the
Man.
worst hockey movie ever made. And that goes for all 3 Mighty Ducks.
Well, you're implying that a Mighty Ducks movie is bad?
I'm saying all the Mighty Duck movies are perfect, but there are people who have grievance with 3.
Oh, no, I like 3.
I love 3 is
Yeah.
my favorite. But no, Jay Baruchel, like, I'm sure you and I would get along and enjoy a really good Canadian beer together, but like, dude, that movie sucks. It's not a good hockey movie, and it's barely a good comedy.
Damn.
She's Out of My League is like fantastic though.
I will never forgive him for making the worst movie for my sport.
That's fair. I haven't seen
Yeah.
Goon, but I know that a
It's
lot
bad.
of people
It's
liked it.
really bad.
Okay. Fair enough.
And I've watched it multiple times. Like, I've tried to like it, and I can't. I can't force myself to like it. The goalie's pads are on the wrong fucking way.
Is that part of the character or something?
No.
Or, okay. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen it.
The goalie's supposed to be like the good one. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's bad. It's
Okay.
bad. It's bad. Anyway.
Sorry, Goon. 2 thumbs down.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so everyone in the movie playing versions of themselves, is real in terms of like that's why you see Rihanna in certain like Battleship or Taylor Swift in Cats or whatever. Like there's that crossover artist, and then you have the first time director is a real thing. Someone who maybe did a little smaller movie and is now getting a chance at a studio film and out of their element or out of their league a little bit. The studio execs and how they act. I mean, that's definitely a little bit exaggerated. Like Tom Cruise is really going all out as that sort of stereotypical like crazy studio head.
I have a couple of moments particular I'm curious about. One is, and I think this one's probably pretty realistic, is like him saying that he can't control the big names.
Oh yeah.
And them like ruining the movie because they're just wildly like just doing whatever the fuck they want.
That happens a lot, and an infamous example of that, which is well publicized actually, is Fast and the Furious between The Rock and Vin Diesel and Tay, whatever the fuck.
Tay
Tay
Diggs.
Diggs.
Tay Diggs.
No, Tyrese.
Or Tyrese.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out, baby boy.
Yeah, I mean that was well publicized, and whenever that movie was shooting, Fast 8, we represented the director, F. Gary Gray, at the talent agency I was working at, and there were many conversations behind the scenes about actors being difficult and others demanding more screen time than they were getting or more lines than they were getting, and being very hard to manage because all those personalities at this point, in the franchise, and this is about Fast specifically, but you're so far into it, right? And everybody is really big as it goes in the franchise, right? So they're established and they're very popular and everything. So their egos get bigger, obviously, and they all want the focus to be more on them. Especially guys like Vin, or who like the Jason Stathams of the world and the Rocks and everything, who are sort of the anchors.
But not
of
The
all that.
Rock. They were all being assholes except for The Rock.
That's not exactly true.
No,
I mean,
I'm pretty sure.
people think they know movie stars, man, but not always. Like The Rock is definitely has been known to show up like 3 hours late to set and hold everything up.
Well, he had to work out.
Exactly.
And then he
Yeah.
pulled over and signed all those autographs for the fans on the way out. He probably had to like save somebody from a burning building on the way
I
to
don't know
set.
if you're joking or if you're being serious.
I'm both.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
I'm joking, but also hoping all of it's true.
I would love for those three to fucking fight each other to the death.
No, The Rock kills all of them.
I mean, of the three, I guess I wish he wins, but
Yeah.
I
Well,
just- I
Tyrese is
can't.
whatever. Like he's just kind of a
yeah, Tyrese.
whiny,
Not
he's
even
just whiny
involved.
bitch.
I just
but-
want The Rock and Vin Diesel and Jason Statham. I just want some of them to die.
Well, it's funny
I've had enough.
because all of them, in the movies they all face off with each other, but all of them have, like clauses in their contracts that like they can't be shown bleeding on screen, or like only so many injuries can be shown. That's why like all this shit happens in the movie, and it's like Vin Diesel has one tiny little scrape above his eyebrow or whatever. Like these guys, Statham, I know for sure, is like contractually not allowed to be shown like
Bleeding?
injured at
What kind of weird?
That's just like the stigma of Jason Statham. He's like the badass who can kick anybody's ass, and that's why you're not going to see him with like, a busted nose or like, heavily injured in some form.
Oh,
Have
man.
any of you ever enjoyed a Jason Statham movie?
No.
I mean, I've enjoyed movies that he's in for sure. Do I like Jason Statham? Whatever.
Justin's a big Crank fan.
Yeah.
Yo, the Meg was not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
It
really wasn't.
I've heard that. I've heard that.
It's
so.
actually pretty fun. Like
You-
ridiculous, but
you
fun.
see the new trailer for the movie he's in where he's like a fucking armored, like a Brinks truck driver.
Yeah, the new Guy Ritchie movie. It
It
looks
looks.
yeah.
it
he's
looks
just
rough.
walking around shooting people the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Rock's not actually a bad guy. Just tell me that. Even if you have to lie to me, it's okay for you to lie to me in our 20-year friendship.
The Rock seems like a good enough guy.
Perfect.
Am I
That's
ever-
all I
yeah.
need. No, shut up. That's all I
Well,
needed.
so-
That's all I needed.
So after Tropic Thunder, this led to a discussion of, in terms of like actors that if you met them at a party, like you showed up at a party
Yeah.
and said actor was there,
Yeah.
would they like hold the door for you?
Right.
Would they be? And so the big one on our discussion board was Tom Cruise. And I was
Right.
like, I bet Tom Cruise is a wildly humble and down to earth person.
I could see that, but then also remember that he's like the king of Scientology.
Yeah, so we did some Googling, and there
Uh-huh.
were like multiple articles about him just being like the coolest person.
It doesn't surprise me.
And I was like, I bet it has to do with Scientology, where
Right.
he's just transcended to some other level of like
could
bullshit, where
be.
he just loops around to like,
Being humble and cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like still an asshole probably, but like he hides it well.
Yeah.
Always acting.
Who's your favorite actor you've ever met that like took you by surprise that way?
That was like the nicest.
Yeah.
Or the most chill.
Rob Schneider.
I have not met Rob Schneider. No.
I would have gotten a picture if my phone would have blown up that day.
I think the nicest person I ever met was actually Octavia Spencer. She was just
Oh.
like the sweetest person in the entire world. And she came by for a meeting at like 8 in the morning, and I was like asleep and just annoyed, and she couldn't have been more friendly. Like she was definitely a delight to meet and hang out with. You know who's a big asshole? Nick Jonas. Fuck that guy.
Really?
You probably think that, but
Oh,
yeah,
I'm
he's
crushed.
He's a big dude. He's
I'm
a total
crushed.
douche.
Who's worse, Nick Jonas or Harvey Weinstein?
Oh, wow. That's not a fair comparison at all. That's going overly harsh.
Okay. I was just curious.
Tom Cruise is a really interesting one though, because Tom Cruise has been so big for so long. He's just like gone so far down the rabbit hole of being a movie star for so many decades of his life that it's like you can't even imagine what it's like to be that guy and like live that life that he lives and everything. But I
Right.
think what he's shown in his interviews is that he just truly loves the movies.
Right.
And so I think he understands his role as being Tom Cruise, and he is really good at playing into it of like treating the fans well and like doing all that stuff. I don't know how quote unquote normal the guy is, but I think he just really understands his role and plays it perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be normal to be nice.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I mean, there's definitely we've seen glimpses of like some goofiness and like
Right.
definitely Scientology is an interesting.
I mean, but
thing.
half the actors in Hollywood are Scientologists too. So like, you know, take your pick.
Even in regard to like the Christian Bale like famous freak out, on set, where we have the Tom Cruise one for like Impossible 7,
Right.
but still like he was like freaking out.
Because he
But
was
it was
worried
from
about
like a very
people
like,
gonna lose their jobs.
Yeah, it was from like a very like humble and like humanitarian place where he was
Right.
like, people are depending on like these checks, like you can't fuck around.
I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole, but I almost kind of want to meet a Christian Bale more than I want to meet an Octavia Spencer because I want to see the crazy. Is that weird?
I don't think you'd get a chance to. I don't.
Well, if I was on set, you know what I mean? Like, I would almost,
Yeah.
like, if I was, whatever on set, like, I'd be excited to do one of their movies just to see how fucking weird they
Oh
are.
yeah.
Well, on set's different though because a lot of people are in a different mindset, right? Either
True.
they're being really method actors and like just being that character even when the camera's not rolling, or they could just be so into the scene or like whatever, like their focus is off and they're not being their normal selves, right? Like Christian Bale's infamous freak out at the DP on Terminator, who like got in his line of sight and ruined a shot. Like Christian Bale's an intense guy, and that was an intense scene, and like they were just really into it, and it wasn't like Christian Bale just came out of his trailer and was sipping a coffee and like saw a guy and exploded on him, right? Like they were in the middle of all this shit, and
Right.
emotions get heated. It's a very emotional job, so it's like when you're on set, I don't think you're always seeing like someone, like Hugh Jackman is very well known for being like the nicest guy in the entire world, and makes friends with like the grips and the whoever, like craft service and all that stuff, and remembers people from like 20 years ago. Not everyone is like that. Other people are much more into it psychologically and things like that. So I think it's a little bit harder to tell on the on-set life. I did hear a story of how Tom Hardy saw a guy looking at him on set once, and it was like an electrician or something. They were in between shots, and the guy was just standing there, and he looked up at Tom Hardy, and he sees him staring at him. And then he looks down at his phone, and he looks back up, and Tom Hardy's still staring at him. He looks down at his phone. He looks up again. He's still staring. And then finally, Tom Hardy just walks up to him, gets right in his face, and he likes, "You know what, mate? You can just go fuck yourself," and then just like walks out of there, like super pissed off for some unknown
right
reason.
on the mouth. If you got that close
For
to me,
some
I'd kiss
unknown
him on the
reason.
mouth.
Like, yeah, you just go fucking fuck yourself.
That handsome bastard got that close to me, I'd kiss him on the mouth.
Yeah.
I know you said you didn't want to get hung up on this.
Yeah.
But Matthew McConaughey has to be the coolest dude.
I think that's
Right.
probably pretty true.
It seems like it. Yeah, I'd like to read his book.
Like I feel like at any given moment, anyone could walk into a bar and Matthew McConaughey's there and just like buys you a drink.
And just holding court.
Yeah.
Holding court at the end of the bar. All right. This one time I was slaying this woman, and oh my God, were we going at it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that's like legitimately how a story started on his Rogan interview.
Nice.
Was like that exactly with the oh my God.
I let him clap my cheeks.
Shrek says Adam Sandler is apparently a super cool dude.
Well,
yeah,
duh.
I mean, he goes to Jay Leno and wears basketball shorts, so
It's
he doesn't,
Yeah.
I'm sure he doesn't care
if
at all,
there's a number of people in Hollywood that like shouldn't be famous. Adam Sandler's probably top 10 though. Is like just should not have been a famous guy, and everything that he has, I think he just knows. Like he's like, man, I could be fucking working at the dock right now, fucking shoveling off fish. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he gets it.
Yeah, but the movie definitely it shows what Hollywood is. It just makes it a little more fun, like the whole agent thing with like trying to get the TiVo and everything.
Oh
like
my God.
that, there's definitely an element of like agents baby their clients and like they will go to bat for stupid things. It's not so much
Well,
the case
and like
anymore,
how
but
little Ben Stiller actually cared about the TiVo.
yeah.
He's like, no, it's fine. And he's like, I will get you that fucking TiVo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it also made me realize like how dated the movie is when they're talking about TiVo. I'm like,
Right.
I don't even remember the last time I heard someone say the word TiVo.
Yeah.
Like that's such a dated thing. But yeah, so like the way the studio exec on set, interacts with like kissing his boss's ass and everything. So yeah, it's definitely like the elements of it are real. It's just hyper realized and comedically altered to be the craziest version of itself.
My buddy does a podcast solely dedicated to interviewing people who have hung out with Adam Sandler throughout the years. Some of the stories are hilarious.
Wow. Hung out in what sense? Like saw him in the bathroom or?
Probably a little bit of both.
Like,
Have you guys ever
I
seen?
mean, that's the Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bill Murray's the same way, where he'll sit down, eat French fries off of your plate, and he'll look you dead in the eyes and be like, nobody will ever believe you. And then he'll just leave. Like,
I
he's
love it,
he's
though.
famous for showing up to weddings that he's invited to. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
I think
What a
I think you were supposed to sing a song by the way.
Nah, we'll do that later.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I think it's Ricketts. I will sing it tomorrow on. I'll do a solo performance for you tomorrow on Two Beers Deep.
And that's how we get them coming back.
Right.
And what did you guys
What's your favorite fake movie? What?
yeah.
What movie did you want to see?
So
And how isn't it Satan's Alley or whatever?
just the recap of the fake movies, right, that we get the trailers for at the beginning. The first one is Scorcher, which is Tug Speedman, a.k.a. Ben Stiller's character.
Ricketts, I will do it tomorrow on on Two Beers Deep, and I'll make sure to clip it so you can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know the words to Poker Face anymore.
I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
Okay, yeah.
Fake
So
movies.
The movies, the fake
Scorcher,
movies.
yeah, Scorcher with Ben Stiller. He like saves the world after it stops rotating, and then there's like 6 sequels. Big action movie, I guess. And
Mission
this-
Impossible. I mean, that's what it's making fun of.
Sure. The second one is The Fatties, which is Jack Black's character, and he plays like Eddie Murphy, where he's like just the same character, and they're all really fat relatives or something. And the third one is, of course, Satan's Alley, starring 5-time Academy Award winner Kirk Lazarus
And
MTV Movie Awards
Best
Best
Kiss.
Kiss winner Tobey Maguire
Hell yeah.
as like priests trying to be
not gay.
yeah
Yeah.
trying to fight their urges to be with each other.
Brokeback
or whatever.
Catholicism.
It's
Yeah.
the best.
Oh,
That-
and-
I mean, that's got to be the one, right?
And then Al Pacino, he's not really in a movie, but he's got like his music video
Yeah.
for Booty Sweat and
Booty
Bustin'
Sweat.
Nut. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, dude, it has to be Satan's Alley.
Right.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's,
I mean,
that's the best trailer for sure.
the use of, I know I said this in a text thread, but the use of Sadness Part 1 by Enigma in the trailer I was just like, I need it now. I need it now. Fucking make it.
And if
I
they
want it.
made it as a comedy that was meant to be serious, like if they really leaned into that, like they're playing it serious, but it is hilarious, that movie would just. I mean, Tobey Maguire is awesome, and Robert Downey Jr. is awesome.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and the idea of the two of them attempting to fight kissing each other the entire movie, I'd watch the shit out of that. That'd be so fucking funny.
They should make it as like the prequel to like Spotlight.
Oh,
my
man.
God.
Just make Spotlight a
The
trilogy.
origin story.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Denial Part 1.5.
I loved that though. The movies that came out around the same time, the Grindhouse movies had fake trailers. One of them was Machete, which and then actually got made.
Mhm.
But like I love a good fake trailer paired
Oh,
with
yeah.
a movie.
Definitely.
One of my favorite movie-related things is one of the years for the MTV Movie Awards, they did spoofs of The Matrix, where like JT was Neo. They had Wanda Sykes
Oh.
was the Oracle.
Oh God.
They do like a bit where they go to Zion and it's Morpheus giving like the story about machines.
Yeah.
And Andy Dick is like a raver in like
Yeah.
the crowd. He's like, he's having a big orgy later. He's gonna tell us about it. He's like, there will be machines. And Andy Dick's like, you hear that machines?
Yeah.
Like, Will Ferrell plays the architect. Like, it's just so.
I think
fucking
I remember
funny.
that. I think I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely Satan's Alley. I'd watch that movie
Yeah,
for sure.
Satan's Alley would
Oh,
be.
yeah.
Just I love Tobey Maguire too. I don't know why. Him and Elijah Wood, like, maybe it's something attached to my childhood that like Lord of the Rings and Spider-Man were just so influential on me
Right.
that like they can do no wrong. But like, yeah, those two to me are awesome.
Tobey Maguire's reputation is not very good. He's supposed to be
Really?
a asshole.
Are
And
you
a
gonna
and
do
a little
this?
bit crazy.
Are you gonna do this all show?
I
How
feel
many?
like, you
How
know,
many
I
are
just
you
wanna,
going to ruin?
I just need to
It's
let
his
you know.
duty.
I
Yeah.
just want you to know he's not very nice.
Did either of you see Come to Daddy? That came out
What?
2019. It's an Elijah Wood movie. It's like an
No.
indie film.
No.
It's like a psychological thriller / like horror movie. Highly recommend.
Okay.
Highly recommend.
Elijah Wood's cool though. He does Wilfred. Like,
Is he the daddy in that movie?
He is the son of the daddy.
Oh, okay.
He's daddy's boy.
oh. No, I saw My Boy. That was Adam Sandler.
That's my boy.
That's
Yeah.
my boy.
That's my boy.
I fucking love
Let
that
Justin
movie.
distort the whole show. Oh, fucking all right, fine, Jason. All right. So, let me ask this. Let me start with this question: is Robert Downey Jr. a good dude?
Yeah.
Supposedly. Yeah.
Okay. Because like,
Yeah.
I've-
I mean, he's like Robert Downey Jr. You know, he's definitely like a wise ass. and,
Right.
You know, has those qualities to him.
right.
But in a decent way, I guess. Yeah.
I think because it amazes me when you talk about the fact that, and he was, not to reference Rogan all fucking movie, but there's a clip on the internet where they talk about how, you know, he's like, how have you not been canceled for that? Like, because that is, like, you just can't do that. You can't do blackface. And he did it, pulled it off, and was, like, very unoffensive in the art of it.
He was nominated for an Oscar for it.
Right. Literally
Really?
the joke.
Yeah.
Joke that he's like so serious he got skin pigmentation and he's going to get another Oscar win for it. Happened.
Both he and Tom Cruise were nominated for Oscars for this movie.
Well, Tom Cruise should have been, because if you don't know it's Tom Cruise, you spend the whole movie wondering who the fuck is in the suit.
Right?
You
Did
really do.
Did you know it was him when you saw it?
Yeah, only because I was familiar with like the dancing scenes.
Okay.
Oh,
But
right,
I found
right.
that so the movie's directed by Ben Stiller, right?
Right.
That Tom Cruise had just like kind of heard about the movie, and it was like unclear if like that character was like originally like part of the movie, but Tom Cruise was like,
I'll be in your
I
movie.
want to do this, but I want like free reign to like be wild, and Ben Stiller was like, yeah,
Ben Stiller's a good dude.
and it comes off, it's so good.
Oh,
Yeah.
in my brain.
He can be.
is.
I've heard he can be tough to work with.
When you hit that many home runs,
Yeah, he's got a storied career, more than I was willing to admit to when I
Yeah.
started like going through.
But you don't have to necessarily be an asshole just because you have a whole bunch of hits. You know?
I understand, but if you know something works or you want something a certain way,
Yeah, but his reputation is more that he's very demanding and sort of like on this movie, all the cast joked that he was like a dictator on set. You know, like that, just very tough to
Oh
work
my
with.
God.
So
and
you think like a lot of comedians would be like really fun and goofy and everything,
Right.
but that's not always the case.
yeah, especially when you hear like, you know, half of the things Will Ferrell says are improv. Like you would imagine that the reason that or how they get there is because they're just having fun.
Right.
And then he says something hilarious, and they're like, "No, you got to do that on camera."
Well, who is the one? Was it? I think it was one of you guys that was telling the Kevin James story.
It was me.
Was
yeah.
that you? Yeah. I mean, and so there you go. Just like,
right,
don't even look at me.
Right.
Why are you looking at me? You know,
right.
like messed up type stuff.
I don't think blackface was the most offensive thing when it came out at first. Simple Jack was way more. Yep. Downey had already been canceled and put in Hollywood jail. True, a few times by the point from drug addiction and being an ass as a youth. I got it. Sorry.
He was
That
put in
a lot of
Hollywood
A's.
jail and he was put in literal jail.
Yes.
Put in
So,
real
yes.
jail.
Something I want to speak to Jaytronic's comment there of a video I saw on YouTube within like the last month, but it was this like super touching moment it's some award show where Robert Downey Jr. brings out Mel Gibson on stage with him, and Robert Downey Jr. is accepting an award, and it was like after the whole thing with Mel like being drunk, like whatever slurs he used, it was something like anti-Semitic.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So Robert Downey Jr. is like, listen, he was like, I had low points in my life, which affected my career. He's like, and Mel Gibson like always stood by my side. He was like, now to see you guys do to him what you did to me, knowing none of you in this room are without sin, he's like, I won't fucking have it. He was like, this man has been nothing but nice to me, and he's done some things that are inexcusable, and he fucking knows it. And I refuse to turn my back on him the way you turned your back on me, and he was the only one there for me. And it was like wildly touching.
Cool.
I was like, yo, shout out Ben Stiller.
You mean Robert Downey Jr.?
Yeah.
That's really interesting. It's an odd time to do that. Like, he was winning an award and he brought Mel on stage?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was like accepting an award, and he was like, while we're at it.
Oh, was
I
it like
wanna do
pre-planned,
this.
or was he just like, by the way, Mel, can you come up here for a second?
So Mel was on the side of the stage, so I don't.
Oh,
given the
was he like presenting maybe?
well, given the context, I don't know if he would have been presenting, but
Yeah.
maybe. I'm not sure.
I don't think they've done any movies together, so I don't know why they'd
No.
both be on the stage. But
Yeah.
I mean, respect for standing up for
Yeah.
your guys. You know, I don't know if it's the right place. But
What Women Want is a great fucking movie.
I love What Women Want.
Daddy's Home too is fantastic.
It's okay.
Mel Gibson is a
great
filmmaker.
fucking
I don't
movie.
think you can question.
No.
But getting back to blackface, I watched a clip today of Jamie Foxx on Joe Rogan was talking about it, and you know, he was saying how there wasn't an issue with it because, you know, actors are entertainers, and there's an aspect of that where you have to consider intent, right? I mean,
Right.
you know, are you
He's
are
not
you
trying
doing
to
it?
be hurtful.
No, and it's not Robert Downey Jr. in blackface. It's part of his role as an actor who is so method that
Right.
in order to be cast, you know, he's getting the skin pigmentation so he can play a black guy authentically, right? So, yeah, I mean, if it wasn't just like a goofy, what's that crazy movie you said with like the blackface that had like, it was on the poster? It was like, oh man, I can't remember the movie from like 2001. But there was like a really creepy blackface done in it.
Oh, we like we found it like looking something up.
Oh,
I've never
I don't
seen it. It was
remember.
like a movie poster that came up. It had like
Yeah.
Jamie Kennedy or some shit in
That's
it.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's not like, you know, it wasn't done in an offensive way. It was done as it fit into the context of the movie and everything. So, I mean, it's really one that you don't hear anything about at all. And I think fairly so. I don't think it's offensive. And granted, like,
any of Tropic Thunder. No part of Tropic Thunder has ever been pulled out on the carpet as like, I can't believe this was ever made. This is so offensive.
right.
No part of Tropic Thunder has ever done that, been pulled out on the carpet for that.
Nope.
So, I had never seen the movie before, but I knew Robert Downey Jr. was in blackface in it, you know. So as I'm watching it, I'm like, and I know this is probably not great optics, 3 white guys talking about if blackface is offensive in this fucking movie or not, but I was like, I don't know if I would say it was like tastefully done, but like it's done in a very self-aware way where like Al Pacino or whatever, like they have a conversation about it being fucked up.
Right.
You know what I mean? At no
Yeah,
point
he's like, yeah, I know.
yeah, he does, you know, and I would say that Robert Downey Jr. does like a caricature as opposed to like stereotypes. You know
and
what
really,
I mean?
he's doing a caricature of a white guy who's taking shit way too seriously
yeah.
and is stealing a role from a black person. Like, I mean, really, he's making fun of white people, not black people.
Yeah. In which, you know, other people might disagree and just say the use of blackface
Is offensive.
is
no doubt.
offensive. But like for me, I was like, this is, you know, because the other like famous like blackface incidents of late is Jimmy Fallon doing blackface to play Chris Rock,
Right.
which like I don't know. I'm under the impression Chris Rock said he wasn't offended by it,
Right.
but like I can understand that being in like poor taste,
Right.
or like Jimmy Kimmel doing Shaquille Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
But then like acting like he's like,
Right.
mentally challenged almost.
Right.
Like he,
Right.
he,
Right.
he goes hard, and like that is like obviously like, okay, this is like a little cringy.
Yeah.
But this is like done in a meta way that's very self-aware, that isn't like stereotypy, where I was like going into the movie confused why this wasn't like what
Right.
cancel culture was coming after. But then I was like, I get it. I get why it's not, but then also like I don't know if I can give that much credit to the cancel mob that they had like the wherewithal and foresight to be like, no, this is okay.
Well, and then it's
You
kind
know
of.
what I mean?
I was just thinking, because like two of the most like insane like method acting is like Dallas Buyers Club, between Jared Leto and McConaughey losing so much weight, and then we saw Bale add so much weight to play Dick Cheney and like all that kind of stuff. Like, it's just kind of even amazing how it almost preceded some of the things. Like Jared Leto has like a disease now because he lost so much weight for Dallas Buyers Club.
Really?
Yeah, like he has like a blood disorder now from the way he like crash dieted to get that thin, and then added it all back on to do whatever the role he did next. Like, kind of wild, like how that kind of preceded all of that. Like it was almost like a prediction in a lot of ways too, as much as
Yeah.
it was making fun of some past performances.
Yeah. I think when people first saw it, or when they first saw the trailer or the marketing, they're like, wait a sec, Robert Downey Jr.'s in blackface. Like, that's not cool. And then once the movie came out, it just kind of like went away. Like
Yeah.
I think everyone just understood. They just got it. They're
Well-
like, this is just it. It fits in the context of the movie, and like even black people, Jamie Foxx obviously, like he said, but then others, I don't ever remember hearing anyone like raising
Yeah.
an issue with it.
Jason says, I remember the blackface being a big deal when the movie came out. I don't, but we were also pretty. Well, I was only 16.
Yeah.
It was 2018.
Yeah. Or 2018.
For what?
Tropic Thunder.
This is 2008.
Yeah. Oh, I meant we were 18.
Yeah, we were
2008,
18. Yeah.
I was like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah. And then Jared Leto took a lot of crap for taking a role away from a real trans person.
I
It's
can't.
that whole conversation is really tough because, and especially because Hollywood is so.
There's only one
yeah.
trans actor that I'm aware of,
That's the thing. It's like
Laverne Cox.
it's very tough because people want to be represented fairly and
Right.
authentically, but also you have to consider it from the other side of it, where it's like there was a movie that Scarlett Johansson was going to film in Pittsburgh actually called Rub and Tug, which was about a trans person who operated a massage parlor in the 70s, and she was going to play a trans role. And then there was so much backlash against a non-trans person playing that role that she eventually dropped out of the movie and it didn't get made. And this was like a year ago or a year or two ago. And it's like, okay, I get that you want to have like a real trans person play that role,
But now,
the only
you've
the only
ruined
reason the
whole
movie was getting made was because Scarlett Johansson,
Right, was
aka the
gonna do
biggest
it.
female movie star in the entire world, was going to do it. So, like, you guys, yes, authenticity is important, but it's also like, I don't know, man. People just seem to forget that actors are acting. And
Yeah.
I don't personally have an issue with like a straight person playing a gay character or like
Hunter
things like
Schafer
that,
from
you know?
Euphoria. Thank you, Anastasia. That's right.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
like,
to me, it just doesn't make sense. Like, if you're pretending, you can pretend to be whatever you want to be.
it's, to a certain extent, it's like, and it's more of an issue because, obviously, like, trans is like a hot button issue,
Right.
like, in American culture right now. But, like, logic-wise, it's not too far removed from being mad that Daniel Day-Lewis played Abraham Lincoln, because it wasn't actually Abraham Lincoln playing himself. Like, at a certain point, like, movies are, like, escapism.
Pretend.
Yeah. Like,
I see where you're going.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if I get that it's an issue because like trans rights are very prevalent right now, but like it would be like the fucking mixed martial arts community being mad that like fighter like Tom Hardy isn't a real UFC fighter.
Right.
Like at a
right,
certain
right,
point,
right,
like
right.
if we continue down this path, like
Yeah, you
We're
have to
gonna-
draw the line somewhere. right?
everything's gonna be a fucking documentary.
And
Right.
I think I mentioned this on the show, someone that we did back in like the summer or whatever. But it's gotten to the point where like, when Star Wars was coming out, like the new trilogy, there was this group in England who were like represented people with facial deformities or like facial scars, and they're like, we don't want to see people with facial scars being villainized anymore because they're always the villain in movies, and people with like scars on their face shouldn't be thought of as
Wow.
villains, like because Kylo Ren has a scar or whatever. So like
Wow.
that's to the point we're getting to where
That's
like
crazy.
everyone just is speaking up and
I
like
mean, I get it, but like still.
I mean
Must have never seen Pay It Forward.
I haven't seen Pay It Forward. I don't.
Or
understand
Lords
the
of
joke.
Dogtown.
But
Mhm.
it's also tough because like we aren't on that team, so
Right.
like if I had facial scars and like everyone in the movie had a facial scar and people thought I was like an asshole because all the villains they were seeing in movies were assholes, like I don't know if I would relate to that or not.
They
It's
definitely hate 90% of the James Bond movies.
definitely. Yeah, they always have
That's like a
something going on.
trope in James Bond movies.
Yeah.
I think you just have to be like so self-absorbed though to like take issue with that. You know what I mean? Like,
To some extent.
I mean, it's definitely part of the culture of like everybody airing a grievance about everything.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So,
But there's probably some validity to it, but it's also
right.
you have to draw the line. Is
There-
this the most serious thoughts from the movies ever?
At this point,
I don't know. Schindler's List we got
Luke.
serious.
Yeah,
for
Luke
sure.
didn't
Yeah.
even have a whole fucking hand. Good point, Jason.
Hey,
Yeah.
He lost a whole hand. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Let's have some fun again. Better or worse than?
let's go.
All right. So I have a list. I think I have 8 movies. Better or worse than Tropic Thunder. Hang on a second. I got everything.
I just want to pat ourselves on the back. I think we handled that very well.
Oh, well, yeah. I did legitimately think that if I was going to get a phone call from Derek shutting down Thoughts from the Movies, it would have been, Tropic Thunder would have been a part of it.
It's not over yet.
That's
True.
Still early.
Still a
Yeah.
lot of game left.
Still a lot of game left. All right. First one. Tropic Thunder really takes a look at Hollywood.
I'm pleasantly surprised by
I
this.
am as
Yeah,
well.
go Josh.
Well done.
Yeah, all right. So the disaster artist, kind of like poking fun at Hollywood kind of deal. So better or worse than Tropic Thunder?
I think that one's actually kind of tough because I do like the Disaster Artist a lot, and that's my
Same.
crew, the Rogan Franco crew. Like that's
Yeah,
my
it
that's
is
my
your crew.
comedic. That's my
Yeah.
favorite comedic
Yeah.
crew right there, and that movie is also really well done, and it's about a movie. It's like a movie about making a movie.
And about a movie that sucks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And man, that's actually a really good comp for this one. I don't know. Either you guys have a take?
I'm going to take the disaster artist
Okay.
because while I really enjoy Ben Stiller, Danny McBride, Jack Black, I think the disaster artist cast is like equally like a funny collection of guys, but they're just like more lovable guys. Like
Yeah, I don't think anybody loves Danny McBride. The people love to laugh at Danny McBride,
Yeah.
but I don't think anybody's always like oh, Danny McBride.
just like James Franco, Dave Franco, they have like this like boyish charm about them.
Yeah.
That's like
Well, and they're
endearing.
brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go with Tropic Thunder. I agree with everything you're saying, and I fully understand it. I think Tropic Thunder is just a much more quotable and memorable movie.
Oh, for sure.
That's
Like the Disaster
true.
Artist has its moments for sure, but there's so much more that I take from Tropic Thunder.
Well,
I
and
think.
most of the quotes from the disaster artist are actually quotes from The Room.
Right.
So
Did you say that one of you hadn't seen The Room before?
I've
right?
not seen The
yeah,
Room.
I've not seen
Oh, you've not seen The Room?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so I watched The Room and then I watched The Disaster Artist like back to back.
yeah.
So I think that might be part of like my affinity towards
Sure.
it
Interesting.
too.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take Tropic Thunder though.
The next
What
one
are you taking?
I've never seen the disaster artist.
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
So, but I know enough about it, and you both have spoken very highly of the movie. I thought yeah, that's a good one. to
Yeah,
put in
real
there.
solid.
This one is fun because it pulls a lot on action movie tropes, and it like makes fun of action movies, but it is an action movie. It points out a lot of like really bad tropes inside of Hollywood. Hot Fuzz, better or worse than Tropic Thunder?
I haven't seen Hot Fuzz. Can I substitute Shaun of the Dead?
Sure, in a lot of ways.
I'll take Shaun of the Dead.
Okay.
I'll take that comedic pairing.
Nice. I haven't seen Hot Fuzz. I haven't seen any of those movies. That trilogy
Okay.
with Nick Frost and
Yeah,
Simon
yeah,
Pegg.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
I think they're all Edgar Wright, are they
Yes, they are.
not? Yeah.
I would take Tropic Thunder, but Hot Fuzz is one of my favorites. Nick Frost is just, oh my god. In this movie particularly, he plays up the dumb best friend role like so well. You've never seen Bad Boys 2. And he makes him watch Point Break. So there you
Shout
go,
out.
Zach.
More than Justin's wanted to do.
Wait, so I will never watch it.
You're so fucked.
Which of the trilogy is the best though? Is it
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead is number
Yeah.
one?
Yeah,
I'm-
yeah.
Don't stop me now.
Right. When he's hitting the zombies at the bar with the cricket bat to "Don't Stop Me Now."
You
it's pretty hard
haven't
to
you
beat.
haven't seen Shaun of the Dead.
No,
I think we'll have to sprinkle it into the mix here
Okay.
in the coming weeks.
I saw Zombieland. I like that one.
Zombieland is nowhere.
J-Tronics loves Kenny Powers.
It's a Eastbound and Down is one of the
Eastbound and
funniest
Down.
fucking shows ever.
All right. So again, making fun of Hollywood.
No, I know what movie is coming next on this list. by the way.
And hand up, one of my favorite movies of all time.
I'm the Click Commander.
Just, I mean, Kevin Smith is not necessarily known as a comedy director, but Jay and Silent Bob are. Yeah, I mean, think about his movies.
He's definitely known as a
Yeah.
comedy
What?
director.
Yeah.
All of his bigger movies are comedies for
Yeah.
sure.
He's not a comedy.
I don't think people think Chasing Amy when they think Kevin Smith
Yeah.
at all.
Dogma is a comedy.
Yeah.
All right.
I think, right? Yeah.
I'm
I love
thinking like
Dogma.
I'm thinking Clerks, Jane Silent Bob, Zack and Miri. Like
Yeah.
I'm thinking comedies when I think Kevin Smith.
And it says just my coworker threw the yarp line at me. Yarp.
I'll be honest, I haven't seen Jay and Silent Bob.
That's fine.
Oh man.
That's fine.
Is
Actually,
it a sequel to Clerks?
do you know
that what it is?
why I saw Jay and Silent Bob?
No.
Robbie Worth
Oh really?
was talking so highly of it at the lunch table the one day, and I thought, well, shit, I guess I better see Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Is it so? Are they trying to make a Star Wars movie? Is that what's happening? Why is it? What's the Star Wars
yes.
factor? Or is it just the name? Because Kevin Smith's a nerd.
I
Kind
honestly
of.
couldn't. I know what happens in the movie. I could not tell you what the fuck
Like
it's
there's
about.
Star Wars references. It's not the Star Wars movie though that Kevin James directed. Like there or no, that's not what I'm saying. What am I thinking of where they're like remaking Star Wars? What's that movie?
Zack and Miri make a porno.
No.
Spaceballs.
No, I can't remember.
It's the one with George Carlin with the Rules of the Road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is a
yeah, yeah,
great
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
movie.
yeah. No, Jay and Silent Bob it beats Tropic Thunder.
Did you
for
guys
me.
see the newest one?
Mm-mm.
No,
It's rough.
not yet.
It's rough.
Well,
It's rough.
Super Groovy cartoon movie was fun.
I
Jay
didn't
and
see
Silent
that.
Bob Super Groovy cartoon movie. But all right, next one.
Oh.
I asked Josh Oshie for his opinion. You don't know Josh Oshie, but he is a state officer in Pennsylvania and a movie lover, fanatic. And Super Troopers, by far, is his favorite movie of all time. He picked Tropic Thunder.
Ooh. Okay. Interesting. In terms of quotability,
Snosberries taste like snosberries.
I think it's really close. I mean, I think Super Troopers is probably more laugh out loud.
Farva, what's that place like with all the things on the walls? Shenanigans.
Oh, you mean
God
shenanigans?
damn it!
Oh, man, it's oof. I might give the slight edge to Super Troopers. I think I could watch it right now and just laugh out loud at a lot of moments.
It's so
of it.
good.
I love them both dearly.
Yes.
And Tropic Thunder has the Hollywood aspect, but this is probably the slightly funnier movie.
Yeah, but action comedy movie.
Yep.
I watched it for the first time right around the time that Super Troopers 2 came out. And I was like, it looks so dumb. I don't think this is going to be for me. I laughed so fucking hard
Super
the
Troopers is
entire
so
time.
funny,
It's
dude.
so fucking funny.
It's really funny.
It's so good.
And I think the second one was not as bad as I thought it was going to
I
be.
haven't seen the second one.
I remember I think that it was okay. But
I heard good things.
Yeah.
Super Troopers though is a classic. All right, next one. Fuck yeah!
Matt Damon. Team America.
This is a
They
tough
just-
one.
They just don't make them like this anymore.
They don't.
you
They
know?
really don't. There's not many puppet sex scenes anymore.
My grandfather loved this movie.
I bet he did.
Nice.
From everything you've told me about your grandfather, that doesn't surprise me at all. Better, worse than.
That's so hard to compare
Tropic
because Team
Thunder.
America is just so unique.
It really is.
It's just it kind of stands alone. I'm not a huge fan of South Park and those guys. Like basketball is fine, and I don't really watch South Park or anything. But Tropic Thunder, I think for me.
Okay.
Even though I definitely respect this movie a lot
Yeah.
for what it is.
I'd go Tropic Thunder.
I think so too. I think you got to really be willing to sit down and watch Team America. I don't think you just throw it on and enjoy your afternoon.
Yeah, it's just like a novelty thing.
Yeah, you know what you're getting into when you watch Team America World Police. All right, Justin.
Oh, you dog.
Now I'm
You
just pitting
devil.
your favorite movies against each other.
You really are making it tough.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Don't
This
worry,
is-
I got one for you too.
Hey.
Yeah.
This. Oh,
Oh, I
man.
see it.
Yeah. I just saw the movie that I'm pitting for him. He's not happy.
This might be a tie. I love Pineapple Express so much,
know
and
you do.
I love to quote it too.
Yep.
But it's like the comedy that's not laugh out loud, but it's just like it makes you smile on the inside. You're like, that's really funny. But
I don't like Pineapple Express.
what?
Yeah.
What?
I don't.
Well, you go right to hell. All
Yeah.
right. How dare you?
I watched it and I was like, okay. But like I think it
Did
was
you watch it in the theater?
No.
That's the
No, I
mistake.
watched it alone.
Guys, it's
Yeah.
it's one of
Were
those.
you
It's
high?
another one. Yeah.
No. I also was not high.
Weren't high, weren't with a group of people.
Yeah.
That's the thing with comedies, man. It's tough to get into them when you watch them by yourself. It really is, I think.
I don't know. I watched Sausage Party alone and I peed my pants.
Really?
That's a real story.
I saw Sausage Party in the theaters, and I was like, wow, this was like a really funny movie. And then the last like 5 minutes happened, where they like all just start fucking.
yeah.
I literally thought I was having a medical emergency. I was laughing so hard and I couldn't breathe, and like I started to see dots and shit, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking die in
Yeah.
this theater right now.
Sausage Party, like the whole movie is just so fucking ridiculous, and like the hey hi, how are you being the firewater and like oh my
Oh,
god,
yeah.
I could do a whole paper on why Sausage Party's the funniest movie ever made.
Looking back on it, wildly racist.
Oh, but I think it's a cartoon. Not to bring back up
Dr. Seuss is fine. They're just cartoons.
well,
Get over
but
it.
like Trey Parker and Matt Stone said that they got away with everything on South Park because how can you be mad about a cartoon?
Yeah.
Right. That's fair.
Yeah. Anastasia says best movie, saw it in theaters. Pineapple Express.
Yeah. It's a tie for me. They're both along I'd say I view them the same in terms of
Okay.
their comedy and the movies themselves.
I would go Pineapple Express.
Okay. I'm Tropic Thunder, but that's just me.
It's a good call though.
The
Here
next
we
one
go.
is for Zach.
Another Jack Black classic.
Better
Another
or
Kyle
worse?
Gass classic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the best movies ever.
I honestly don't like it that much.
What?
I was not really into it. Why did you think Zach liked it so much?
Because he talks about it a lot.
So here's my deal. I love Tenacious D,
The band.
the band. Mostly this is going to sound pretentious and douchey, but mostly their early stuff.
Okay.
But
Deep cuts, man.
yeah, I like Tenacious D. This is going to sound weird, but like just like the vocal harmonies
Yeah.
are like so good. So like
But yeah, no. I mean, like just like Weird Al music is funny. It's
Yeah.
good.
like I think my favorite Tenacious D song is like Dude, I Totally Miss You.
Yeah.
Or like Last Week Kyle Quit the Band.
Uh-huh.
So like will I scream, sing Kickapoo and Beelzebub? Yes. Yes. But like there was like so there's a scene in this movie where they're tripping like and they
Yeah.
meet Sasquatch.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, "Oh, the Tenacious D Sasquatch thing." But on their HBO series, they have a Sasquatch bit in that is far superior to the one in the film.
So you're almost, because you're such a big Tenacious D fan, you're able to pick Tropic Thunder over it because it's not their best work. It's
Yes.
just their most popular.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I did not know this.
Yes. There's like this skit in their HBO thing where they go to this dude Fast Eddie's like pawn shop, and he's talking about like all these fucking drugs he did, and he was like, the Rockstar mythos is a lie. It's like the Easter Bunny or Sasquatch, and they leave and they're like, fucking Captain Ed, fucking cock smoker, fucking joint sucker, and they're like having this moment where they're like burning their merch, and they're like, it's over, like, and then they see Sasquatch, and then like, holy shit, like, Sasquatch is real. The Rockstar mythos is real, and then like Sasquatch like joins the band and shit, and it's like,
Oh wow.
it's really funny.
Okay.
So like, I'm just a fan of other Tenacious D work more than this
I
movie.
see. All right.
Sorry to go on that tangent. I know nobody asked for that, but now you know.
I'm picking Tropic Thunder.
Definitely. I did not love Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny all that much.
Okay.
Even though I am a big fan of the band.
Anastasia says 40-Year-Old Virgin is the funniest, and
It's really fucking funny.
it'd be hard to beat.
The end scene where they do
Age of
Age of
Aquarius.
Aquarius.
Yeah.
oh my god.
Everybody's favorite movie, and I hate this movie, The Hangover.
You hate this movie?
It's almost like I can't even remember watching it and liking it because I'm so tired of hearing fucking people talk about it.
The Hangover 2 and Hangover 3 are some of the worst movies ever made.
And like
Super
people are always
forgettable.
like, "This is The Hangover." Like when you're out, like anytime you leave your house and you have a drink with your friend and you forget where somebody was, it's like it's The Hangover. No, it's not. Your life's not as funny as that movie. Like, shut the fuck up.
Until you're drinking Dr. McGillicuddy on your way to Ponderosa.
That
don't-
is true.
Don't talk to me about the
That
fucking
is true.
Hangover.
That is true.
So you're saying you liked it at one point, but you don't remember when that was?
Yeah, I don't like. I've gotten so annoyed with it and the references to it at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my personal preference is probably Tropic Thunder, but I do not deny that The Hangover is great and hilarious
Mhm.
and definitely iconic, I think.
Yeah.
I'm going The Hangover.
Okay. That's fine.
Starts off with a Danzig song.
Yes, it does.
The
Yes, it
The
does.
Hangover is one of the, I mean, in terms of the funniest movie-going experiences that of my life, in terms of being at the theater, laughing until I cried and like all that stuff. Number one, hands down, is Superbad.
Yes.
And that was like I was crying the third time that I watched.
We were literally the age of Superbad
Yeah,
too.
that
And
was-
like I saw it with my friends. Like I mean, it was.
Yeah, and I saw it in the theater with 3 other people, and it was
Yeah.
still like yeah. Number 2 is probably This Is the End,
Yeah.
along the same lines for a lot of the same reasons and same humor. But The Hangover, man, I mean, in terms of like the theater rocking the entire way throughout, I mean, I don't know if you could find a movie bigger than The Hangover in terms of just like universally found to be funny.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what? Not everybody was laughing, but the funniest, most raucous crowd reaction that I found hilarious seeing a movie ever was, I saw Paranormal Activity
Yes.
at the
Nope.
waterfront.
Yep.
What?
Same.
Funny?
These
Same. Oh
these
my god,
people-
the funniest.
These people were losing their fucking minds, like screaming, like, "Bitch!
Yeah.
Don't you see that shit
Yeah,
moving? Get
yeah,
the fuck out
Yeah.
of
I mean, just
Like,
Oh,
and
people
I-
screamed because it's you're
Oh my
held
God.
captive through that movie because the camera doesn't move.
uh-huh.
You're just stuck watching what's happening. So like, and there's not a lot of sound because it's security footage. You don't hear stuff. So like, there's all this really awkward dead silence in the theater of just like you just kind of hear like the sound of like a videotape recording. So people feel obligated to make noise at that movie when they watch it together.
Okay.
And some of the shit that because I saw it in theaters 3 times.
Yeah.
And like I was like, this is the fun. Like each time was funnier than the fucking last.
Wow.
People, it was like the modern Stanford prison experiment.
Oh,
Like I just watched
absolutely.
people divulge into madness, and I was like,
Right.
I can't believe
And you
I'm
would
here
be
for
like,
this.
you would be laughing, scream because of the jump scare, and then return to laughing. Like
Yeah.
it was a wild ride of emotion.
I remember everyone came out because I was working in a movie theater at the time, and everyone that came out of the theater was just like shocked and terrified by the ending. I don't remember the funny bit at all.
Oh my
dude,
God.
yeah.
The
I
most
saw it
electric
so
movie
many
I've ever
times.
saw in
Yeah.
theaters.
Okay, nice.
Anastasia and I saw 21 Jump Street in theaters. We were sitting up against the fucking front of it, heads cocked right up. We
Right.
laughed the whole way through the movie.
That one's up there for sure.
That one was one of ours, and then I think she's referring to that shit was the funniest in theaters. We all 3 shared the Paranormal Activity
Oh my God.
experience because I mean that was just too fucking funny.
No, I think she's talking about Mr. Chow's
Oh,
penis.
Mr. Chow's dick.
Also, hilariously small cock. Always funny.
No.
Always funny.
And then the other one, my favorite movie going experience of all time is This Is the End.
Nice.
We went with a whole group of friends, and they were all couples at the time, fighting. Every couple was like picking at each other going into this movie. You would have thought like, I thought going in like people were late, like it was a bad night, and I thought for sure like people would leave halfway through the movie. Everyone stayed through end of it, and at the end of it, we were all just fucking rolling on the floor.
It's so fucking
It is
funny.
so funny. I've not watched it since the first time I saw it because I'm afraid it's not as funny as I remember.
It's still pretty great, but it tapers off towards the end.
Yeah.
Like there's a point where I think definitely after they leave the house is not that great, because then it's just like they're trying to end the movie. All the best comedy is in the first half.
Yeah,
of the
dicks
movie.
up.
Yeah.
One of the greatest lines ever.
Yeah, just
You were there.
Dicks up.
I
yeah.
feel like Craig Robinson is so underutilized. As an
Anastasia,
actor.
what's the movie where Craig Robinson doesn't talk that's on Netflix that you liked? Yeah.
There's one with Anna Kendrick where he plays the devil. It's so funny. He's like a jazzy like devil that like plays the piano and shit.
That's awesome.
Funny story, Craig Robinson, I met him at a bar in LA.
Don't you fucking say he's a bad dude.
No, he was a cool guy. Like he was
Okay.
doing shots with people, but he was wearing the towel on his shoulder like he wears in This Is the End. Like he has the towel on his shoulder. He had a towel in real life, and I'm like, does he just like really actually sweat a lot? Like, is that why?
I mean, if you look at him,
He's a big dude.
he's a
yeah.
big dude.
Yeah.
Like you could see where he sweats a lot.
I
That
think that's
makes
what it
sense.
is. He was very sweaty that night, but I just thought it was so funny. I'm like, he's actually wearing the towel. That
That's
wasn't
awesome.
a gag for the movie.
That's
I
awesome.
saw like a tweet because I mean I feel like it's like not like a cultural thing, but like the big black guy with like a towel.
Right.
I saw a tweet. Someone was outside today and saw a black guy with a towel on his shoulder. Summer's officially here, and I was
My
like,
God.
that's how you know.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Jay Baruchel in this movie, as well. Fuck Jay Baruchel.
Stop it. Stop it.
This
I won't stand
this
for
is my like all-star cast, like my dream cast.
This is your dream
Yeah,
cast?
I mean all these guys.
It's
for
the
sure.
Ocean's 11 of like comedies.
Yeah, for this type of comedy, like the
Yeah.
R-rated, but also like the clever comedy.
It's
that
the
these guys
posse
do.
cut.
Yeah.
You know?
So,
Yeah, he was in Tropic Thunder.
yeah, he was the new nerdy guy.
Yeah,
Sandusky.
yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't put Zack and Mary Make a Porno on this list. I really thought
It's
you
not
were going
action.
To. If it's about making a movie, I thought that's what
Yeah,
it's gonna be.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you know.
yeah.
What was it?
Totally unrelated, but I just want to throw it out here since we're talking about comedies. I think one of the most underrated comedies is The Hall Pass.
Hall Pass with
Owen-
Jason
Owen Wilson and Stephen
Jason-
Merchant.
Owen Wilson and Stephen Merchant and Jason Sudeikis. Is he in
Yeah.
it too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking love that movie.
Really?
I fucking love that movie.
It has some funny parts
When
for
the
sure.
chick
Porn
shits
is
on the
action.
wall.
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
I can't even.
I remember.
Porn is action, yes.
There's definitely some action. I remember liking Hall Pass a lot the first time. Second time, not as much. But it definitely has its moments for sure.
Yeah, I love Stephen Merchant. I think, he's wildly underrated too.
Definitely Stephen Merchant is underrated.
Stephen Merchant is the crab in Moana. It's shiny.
I don't know.
No.
Is he?
I know what he
Hang on.
looks like. I
It's
don't
the
know.
really lanky British
Tall
guy.
with glasses.
Hell
He's
of an
in
SS officer in
Jojo
Jojo
Rabbit.
Rabbit.
Yeah. Yep. And
Yeah.
then he's also he's
Co-creator of The Office.
Yep. And he's the bookkeeper at in The Good Place, at the end of The Good Place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Horrible Bosses.
Oh yeah.
That would have been a good one because that
Horrible
one's very
Bosses is
much
decent.
an action, comedy thing. I didn't try to pick the best comedy movies. I
Right.
tried to pick like action or ones that were talking about the industry.
Sure. Yeah, that was a good list.
Yeah, thanks.
Well done.
All right, Zach, bring on the quotes. Justin and I are gonna attempt to guess.
I'm going in the dark. First one is heavyweights.
No,
Oh boy.
no. There was almost a heavyweights quote, but
Chat. Zach is gonna read a movie quote. If you know it, spam it in the chat.
so these are all Ben Stiller movie quotes. Maybe not Ben Stiller was the one that spoke them, but these are all from Ben Stiller
Yeah.
movies.
And we're trying to name the movie.
You want to do like a 3-second buffer so the chat can
Sure.
type?
Yeah,
So,
so-
like you read it and then count to 3 and then we'll
Cable
answer.
guy.
Yeah.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. I tried to fart and a little shit came out. I sharted. All right, now let's go.
Something About Polly
Along Came Polly.
or Along
that
Came
what you're trying
Polly.
to say?
Something About Mary and Along Came Polly are both Ben Stiller movies that are very fucking similar.
Definitely.
I think it's the one with Cameron Diaz in it.
There's Something About Mary.
Yeah.
It is Philip Seymour Hoffman and Along Came Polly.
Oh, there you go.
They're playing basketball,
Okay.
which the Philip Seymour Hoffman basketball scenes in Along
Yeah.
Came Polly.
I don't think I've seen Along Came Polly. He had that period of like random ones that I didn't see, like Duplex
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Polly. But R.I.P. to Philip Seymour Hoffman.
A
Yes.
real one.
He is
It all comes back
one
to
of my
Twister.
favorites. Right.
It all comes back to Twister.
Right. All right.
We'll give you a point for that one.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It was one or the other.
We'll give you half a pendant from
Yeah.
Legends.
Yeah. All right, number 2. Look, there's that kid from Costco with the big fat dick, walking around with his massive cock like he owns the joint. That shit just banging against his kneecaps. $20 that guy's dick dips in the toilet when he's taking a shit.
Do you know it? I have no idea.
So I totally forgot about this movie, and I forgot Ben Stiller was in it, but then I realized that I was like, oh, wow, I've seen this movie like 20 times, and it's fucking hilarious every time. It is The Watch.
Oh, I don't
Ben
think I saw The
Stiller,
Watch.
Vince Vaughn, Jonah Hill.
They're like the neighborhood watch.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like
Oh, very vaguely. Okay, I think
wanted
I've
to
seen.
They all wear like
parts
the
of it.
tiger jackets. or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
I
yeah,
wanted
yeah,
to see
yeah.
it, and the reviews for it were not great, and I never ended up seeing
it's
it.
very funny.
Is
Okay.
it
It's
really?
very funny.
Yeah, it's
The
who's
Watch.
it? Vince Vaughn and Jonah Hill and
I
Ben
don't know.
Stiller. That's, I
Yeah.
mean, that's a solid cast.
That's
for
good
sure.
cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I try to make this difficult.
Yeah, it's
I
it was
try to
good.
make it
Yeah, these are
difficult.
good.
Some good ones.
Number 3. In my opinion, which used to matter around here, we shouldn't be flinging new memberships at every guy who puts together a pair of matching gloves and boots.
I think it's Night at the Museum.
New memberships for every guy that has what? Pair of something.
In
and
my
boots?
opinion, which used to matter around here, we shouldn't be flinging new memberships at every guy who puts together a pair of matching gloves and boots.
That or Zoolander. The fashion of it makes me think Zoolander.
It's definitely not the first Zoolander.
Mm.
It might be the second one, which I
Oh.
don't remember very well.
Chat, you have the chance to steal this one if you're a
New
real one.
memberships, guys wearing something in boots.
Closing in 3, 2,
I don't know.
1.
Zoolander 2. I'll say it.
You guys ready? It's a deep cut.
Oh.
Mystery Men.
Oh
my God. Mystery Men.
Fuck yeah.
I haven't seen that in
underrated.
so long.
Here's the deal.
Underrated.
That's another hint to a later segment. Actually, the segment that follows this one.
Yeah.
Mystery Men.
Dude,
Dude,
Mystery
Mystery
Men is
Underrated
fucked.
movie.
Super underrated.
Underrated.
Casanova
So-
Frankenstein.
Oh, so good,
Yes.
dude. Guy who throws the forks.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's
so good.
What's Apu? What's his name? Not Paul Anka.
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't know.
It's
It's definitely a name you
the
know. though.
Fort guy is the guy that is the voice of Apu on The Simpsons.
Hank Azaria.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think it is. Bowler, Shoveler, Invisible. Oh, Spleen.
Hank
No,
Azaria.
Spleen is. It's Paul Rubens. It's Pee
Oh,
Wee
it's
Herman.
Paul Rubens. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my
Pee
god.
Wee Herman.
Yeah,
Dude, William
there you
H.
go.
Macy as the shoveler.
Greg Kinnear. Kel. Keenan from Kel.
Yep.
Or Kel
Yeah.
Janine Garofalo. Yeah.
Really
Mystery
good
Men.
movie.
Super underrated.
Super
Yeah,
underrated.
Oh my
Awesome.
God, I haven't
That's a
seen
good
it
one.
so long.
That's a good one. Dane
Alright.
Cook. Yeah. Dane Cook.
Dane Cook's in that movie?
No.
Oh. I was like, what? Number 4. You threw her down the stairs? No, but I imagined it, and I liked it. I'm evil.
That is Something About Mary.
Okay.
I'm gonna say the Meet the Fockers.
Oh.
Okay. Chat.
Oh, Dane Cook is in it? In
what?
Mystery Men?
Let's look this up while we let
That was way before Dane Cook was a thing.
Yeah.
That was like 6 years before Dane Cook was a thing. Just
Tom Waits. I forgot Tom Waits was in it. Eddie Izzard.
you could just do Dane Cook's credits
Yeah.
and see 1999. Anyway, what's the answer
Michael
to this
Bay
one?
played a frat boy.
Just playing himself. Yeah.
The answer to this one is Duplex.
I didn't see Duplex. There you go. Oh, that makes sense though. Yeah, because he's living with Jenna Aniston.
There's this fucking old lady that lives above them that's like a piece of shit.
Mm.
Mystery Men.
Waffler.
Mystery
Waffler.
Men, the Waffler.
Nice.
Well done,
Shit.
Wow.
Anastasia.
Good call.
That was a deep pull.
Yeah.
That was a deep pull.
Duplex. Okay. I haven't seen like any of these
yeah, I
so
didn't see
far. These are the
Duplex.
Ben Stiller movies I haven't watched.
It's Ben Stiller and Drew Barrymore. So like.
Oh, I
people
thought it was Jen
probably saw it
Aniston.
for-
That's right.
That's
yeah.
Along Came Polly.
That's Along Came Polly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 5. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Bomb, 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 bomb. You gonna arrest me? Bomb, bomb, bomb. During the war, I was a bombardier.
Bomb, 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 bomb. I know that scene.
Yeah.
I think that's Meet the Parents.
Chat.
It's definitely like a well-known scene. He's on the plane and he's saying bomb.
It is indeed Meet the Parents.
There it
Okay,
is.
When
there
it
you
gets
go.
kicked off by
Bomb,
the
bomb, bomb,
TSA.
bomb, 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 bomb.
Yeah. Number 6. I need some dudes up here that speak American, goddammit. He's making a fucking sweater back here. I'm trying to put tiger balm on this jungle's nuts.
Chat, anybody? That's Tropic Thunder.
I have it written down.
Yeah, it is.
That's one of the best lines I've ever heard.
That's C4, dipshit. I said a detonator.
When he said he's making a fucking sweater back here, I fucking died. I was rolling.
Tuck, Tuck, and Kim.
There's only a few people on the planet that can deliver that line, and Danny McBride is the
Oh,
king
yeah,
of them all.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's definitely racist and like
Mhm.
should have been
Oh.
called out.
B2K did say bomb, bomb, bomb.
Mm,
The B2K song.
yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out BTK. Number 7. I'm made of wax, Larry. What are you made of?
That's a night at the museum.
It is.
Yep.
Shout out a day to remember.
Yes.
Moving on to number 8. What is
That's
this?
an underrated scene, too.
I think it's an underrated movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. That is also, one of
No.
my favorite movie going experiences. My mom and I saw this movie together for some reason, just
Yeah.
the two of us in the Regal
Okay.
in Butler. And when the caveman jumps out the window, it turns to dust. We died, like laughing so hard, and then like you start to hear like sniffles around us.
That
And then
sounds about right.
And then when the street sweeper comes and cleans him up, cleans up the dust of the caveman.
The
That
people.
was it. We were done.
It's
The-
not uncommon for the Elsasses to laugh while others are crying, I will say.
I was gonna chalk it up to the people of Butler being a simple, empathetic people.
No, they were in tears, and Mom and I like laughed harder when the street sweeper came. Then realizing people are crying around us, laughed even harder than that.
Yeah.
And we both have very. If you think my laugh is loud, you have not heard shit till you hear Mom Elsa's laugh.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you were just saying what Hank Azaria from
He's in
Mystery
Night at the
Men?
Museum.
Yeah, he's the Pharaoh, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rami Malek is in Night at
Yeah,
the Museum.
yeah.
Oh shit.
That's a really good cast, actually. They
Yeah.
got Owen Wilson, Robin
Owen
Williams.
Wilson.
What?
Yeah.
I don't remember the second and third one.
I don't think I saw that.
And
one.
No,
Amelia
Rami
Earhart's in
Malek
the
is
second
in the
one.
second or third.
I
I
don't
think
remember.
the second one has Amy Adams as the pilot.
Don't get me
Amelia
s-
Adams.
Amelia Earhart.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on Amelia Earhart.
Okay.
Okay. We won't.
It's another conversation.
All right. Maybe a Great Depression episode.
Maybe, yeah.
There you go. All right.
Number 8. What is this? A center for ants? How can we be expected to teach children to learn how to read if they can't even fit inside the building?
He's absolutely right. It has to be at least 2 times this size. Do you want me to do the whole movie?
You
Off-
do the whole
off
thing.
book?
Go for it.
I will do it.
Go for it.
Yeah. that's-
J-Tronics put Zoo in there. I think he gets
Zoolander,
that,
baby.
Yeah, he gets that
sniped
one.
you.
That is
Zoolander 2, not as bad as you would think.
I don't Zoolander 1's a perfect movie.
It's pretty great.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
There
That
were,
Hansel, he's so hot right now.
So
I'll
quotable.
do the whole movie.
there
yeah.
were so many quotes to pick from
It's hard to pull
Zoolander,
one.
and I was
Gasoline
like,
fight.
Yeah,
I was like, they're so also iconic that like,
all of them.
how can you
I
know,
can't turn left. Neither can Brody. Oddly enough, he can't turn left.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Merman.
Number 9.
The hand model. Oh, all right,
Hmm.
move on. Move
I'm
on.
gonna try to read this without fucking it up. Oh, I don't think I'm a lot dumber than you think I thought that I
You
was
think
once
I thought
was.
I once was. Yes, this is fucking Dodgeball.
It is, yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Another movie I can do off script. Just do the whole thing for you.
So we've reached the 10th one.
Okay.
Okay.
My personal favorite. Perhaps the deepest cut on this list.
Uh-huh.
Prepare yourselves. So I started researching it. Turns out so I started researching it. Turns out this thing goes deeper than I could have ever imagined. Way deeper. Back to the Dark Ages. I moved to Rome, quit my job, learned Latin. I gained the trust of a night librarian at the Vatican. a gentleman named Salvatore Pappardelle. He turned me on to some shit that you wouldn't believe.
So that's Will Ferrell saying it. Am I wrong?
I'm not going to tell you.
I believe it's Starsky and Hutch.
Ooh, a deep cut.
It is a deep cut for sure.
I'm trying to think of Ben Stiller movies where Will Ferrell's in it, and I think that's the only one that, other than Zoolander.
Some guys talking about going back to the Vatican.
Let me
it's
read it one more
Starsky and
time,
Hutch.
Do it one more
just
time.
for fun, because I love it so much.
Okay.
So I started researching it. Turns out this thing goes deeper than I could have ever imagined. Way deeper. Back to the Dark Ages. I moved to Rome, quit my job, learned Latin. I gained the trust of the night librarian at the Vatican, a gentleman named Salvatore Pappardelle. He turned me on to some shit that you won't believe.
I'm almost positive it's Starsky and Hutch.
Is it?
It's not.
Oh. Wah wah.
What is it?
It's Ben Stiller.
In?
Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
Oh.
As the Guitar Center employee.
Oh, shit.
I totally forgot he was in Tenacious D. So I watched the scene on YouTube,
Man.
and I was like, this is fucking...
Because
he's
he
reading
goes
it.
wild on that Italian name.
Yeah.
He's like, Buongiorno.
Salvatore Pappardelle.
Yeah.
Because he's like lighter, like in this closet Guitar
Yes,
Center.
yes,
Nice.
yes.
And he pulls out
yes.
the scrolls.
That's
Yeah,
right.
the Da
That's
Vinci
right
Code.
now. I
A
remember.
close
I remember.
guess.
I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
now.
A close
And I was
second
like,
guess.
this is kind of a ringer because it's not really a Ben Stiller movie.
Right.
No, I
But
like
it's
that,
such
though.
a good. It's such a
I like
good
that.
scene.
Those
I
were
like
some deep
that.
cuts. That was a
Those
tough
were
one.
good. Those were really good.
I haven't seen as many Ben Stiller movies as I thought.
Yeah,
I've
I'm
seen more Ben
surprised you
Stiller
didn't bust
movies
out
than I
like
thought.
The Heartbreak Kid or like some of those other random ones that people forget about.
Yeah, when I was like looking through Ben Stiller movies, I was like, oh fuck, like he doesn't really miss.
No.
He doesn't really
really
miss.
doesn't.
He just
miss.
stays in his lane.
Yep.
And that's, it delivers for
Yeah.
what he is. Yeah.
Right. And Zoolander. I mean, like,
So something else interesting I found was that Robert De Niro like fell in love with like the cat that played Jinxie Cat, and like asked for there to be more scenes with the cat.
oh
Like
my
originally there
God.
weren't as many scenes with the cat, and then people would say that like on set between scenes he would just like sit with the cat and like play with it on his lap.
Nice.
Let's get into the top 10 best Ben Stiller characters, because I think I made this, and I think that segue was a really good one. Number 10. Orderly Hal.
This is 10? This guy's 10?
From Happy Gilmore and Hubie Halloween.
Yes.
A great appearance in Hubie Halloween.
Yes.
How about I get you a warm glass of Shut the Hell Up?
Oh, your back hurts? Well, now your fingers are gonna hurt because you pull or
You're pulling
backwards.
yard duty.
yeah.
This is handmade quality shit we're talking here.
Yeah.
Great.
You're in my house now, Grandma.
Yeah.
So few lines, but I would put him in top 5 for sure.
Oh my God,
Oh, man.
so good.
Yeah. Orderly Hal. Top 10 Ben Stiller performance. Number 9. Mystery Men. Mr. Furious. And then, like, he goes to therapy or whatever, and he can't get mad anymore. And he lost his superpower.
His superpower is just that he's angry. He's so angry. Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, love that. Number 8. Tony Wonder from Arrested Development. This is the rival to Will Arnett's magician. Will Arnett's magician.
Okay.
It's an illusion, Michael. Tricks are something whores do for money. But this is like he's actually good. He's actually good at magic, and obviously Will Arnett's character.
Okay.
is.
I've never made my way through the entire thing, but Arrested Development is so fucking funny.
Yeah. Arts and crafts time has been extended. It's good. Orderly Hal. All right. Number 7. Tug Speedman. We're focusing a lot on Ben Stiller, and that's by my design. Sorry, I love fucking Ben Stiller. He doesn't really steal this movie, though. He's a couple of really good lines, but like, it's mostly Robert Downey Jr. just being fucking funny, and then Danny McBride coming over the top.
Yeah. He's not the comedy in this movie.
No, yeah. So Tug Speedman is 7. Larry Daly. This is just a sweetheart movie, as everything for everybody, and he carries the movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. So Larry Daly is 6. Now the top. Oh, you fucking love Ben Stiller? Yeah, I do. I would think, the amount of times I've referenced Zoolander and Dodgeball.
I think she's asking if you love fucking Ben Stiller.
Oh, I love fucking Ben Stiller.
I almost said
never-
Ben Stiller
I've never
loves
had
fucking
the
you,
honor.
too.
Never had the honor. I would be honored.
Can't,
Top-
can't say I share that privilege.
Right.
Sir.
Yeah. Top 5. Alex from Madagascar. This role, this franchise has just expanded off the map. It's one of the biggest kid franchises on the
I
market
feel like
right
we
now.
haven't seen a Madagascar movie in quite a while.
Yeah.
They did a bunch of the Penguins ones, but
Mhm.
it's been a minute. The first 20 minutes of Madagascar 2
when they're
are
trying.
outstanding. They are
Madagascar too.
fantastic. I saw it with my sister for whatever reason at that Regal and Butler, and I'm like, wow, this is hilarious. I was laughing nonstop for the first
I've
half
never
hour.
seen any of these movies.
Oh, the first one is very funny. It's very cute. It's about
Yeah.
animals trying to escape a zoo to go back to where they believe they came from. They end up at Madagascar. There's these lemurs there. Chaos ensues.
Yeah, so you have Ben Stiller's the lion.
Chris Rock is
the
the zebra. Yeah.
Jada Pinkett Smith is a hippo.
Yep.
And I think David Schwimmer is the 4th.
I think
Person?
so.
And Sacha Baron Cohen plays a lemur as well. But it's just, stellar voice cast and very funny movie. But it has like the penguins in Madagascar are like the minions from Despicable Me. Like they're the side character
You
that
nailed that, baby.
everyone.
Cedric the Entertainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Richter, of course.
Yeah, and the 3 penguins are like, they think they're military, and like, you got the dumb penguin and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
But yeah, number 5 is Alex. Number 4,
Oh, the Royal Tenenbaums.
Chase
That would
Tenenbaum.
have been a deep cut for sure.
I am not a Wes Anderson guy by any fucking stretch, but this is arguably Wes's greatest movie, and Ben Stiller playing a completely serious character the whole way through it. Really great performance from him.
We almost had a Tenenbaum's quote in the quote game.
Yeah, I bet. Number 3.
What? Number 3.
He's
Wow.
3.
2 and 1 better be fucking amazing.
They are.
They
They
better
are.
be.
They are.
I'm very curious.
This
This is one for me.
I-
Hands
this is-
down.
It's very difficult because I think people don't like this movie as much as I like this movie. So I'm always like very timid to be like, I love Zoolander like way too much. So
Not enough.
it's a
okay.
great movie.
So 3. Number 2, Greg Fokker.
Derek Zoolander below Greg Fokker?
Well,
Greg Fokker
what?
is the GOAT.
here's
He's just Greg Fokker. What does he do? He's just a guy.
here's the deal though. How many people? It's a short list that can go toe to toe with De Niro in every scene and hold their own.
We're all Greg Fokker.
True.
We're all Greg Fokker.
Just trying to meet the parents and deal with it and accidentally killing the cat and the whole 9 yards.
Your people, I believe, call it a hopa. Is one of the funniest fucking lines in a movie ever.
Yeah. I got nipples. You gonna milk me, Greg? So yeah, Greg Fokker is 2, and then 1.
Has to be.
It has to be White Goodman.
I'm really. The Greg Fokker thing is really throwing me off.
I'm
right
sorry.
Now. It really
I'm sorry.
is.
Fuck you, Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
I'm out here sweating like a monkey. You're expecting me to hold on to a ball? Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody.
Yeah. I
read it
he's
once.
top 3 for sure.
In a book.
Oh yeah, that's me taking the bull by the horns.
Yeah.
That really happened.
That almost made it to
I
the
really-
quote.
I think we
should date.
Joni loves Chachi. That's where he hits the guy in the face. Oh man.
It's not even a real pirate.
Unrelated, between the laughter and whatever else, I'm fucking sweating.
Yeah, well, they
Get a
shut off
towel.
the air condition at the end.
You gotta get a towel. Call
Yeah.
Craig Robinson.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't
see
look
this.
away from Blue Steel.
I
It's
would
true.
probably put Zoolander 1, White Goodman 2, and The Orderly 3.
How the orderly is that? Yeah.
I think so.
Like, a big part of it, when I made the list, I was, like, thinking about it, and I'm like, I know what list I would put together if it was just you and I, like, looking at it on a piece of paper and I didn't have to tell everybody.
Yeah.
Because how orderly would have been 1. In Zoolander 2, White
Yeah.
Goodman 3. Because, like, He kills he steals every fucking scene in Happy Gilmore. And then when he shows up at the beginning of Hubie Halloween, I lost my fucking mind. We were in a van. I was watching it on my phone. It was freezing. We were in Yosemite. And, like, I laughed so fucking hard that, like, Anastasia woke up when I saw Hal the Orderly in the beginning of Hubie Halloween. I was, like, ecstatic. So
I wish we had talked more about Tony from Heavyweights in this program, which we haven't. I would put him in my top 10 for sure, Uncle Tony.
I've never seen Heavyweights.
Oh.
So.
I mean, I don't know if you could go back and watch it now. I think you might have missed the boat on have you seen Heavyweights?
I have not.
Oh my God, it's like The Sandlot. Like it's just a '90s classic kid movie. I don't know if it would like if you watched it now if you would get it. But,
I don't know. I cried a lot when we did our Disney episode, so
have you guys,
that was a lot of movies I had not seen.
Have you guys watched Curb?
Curb Your Enthusiasm? No, but I understand he's a big role in Curb Your Enthusiasm.
He's supposed to star opposite of Larry in The Producers, and he fucking hates Larry David, and he's such a dick, and it's so fucking good. It's so funny.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, and then finally we end our night with overrated, underrated. And these are the actors in the film. And I kind of went in a little bit of a role here where, like, we're going to start with some of the lesser characters, then move on to the guest appearance kind of roles, and then we'll do the main characters after that. So first one is Steve Coogan.
Underrated.
I think Steve Coogan is underrated. I think he's a little bit bigger abroad than he is in America, especially in the UK, because he's British and he's done a lot of films that sort of cater to that audience a little bit more. Like there's this series he does that's like a trip to Greece, a trip to Italy. That's a really popular thing overseas. But as far as comedic actor goes, yeah, he's definitely overrated. But I don't think a lot of people would know his name.
I think it's the only thing I know him in.
Yeah.
And he doesn't look like him because he's wearing the wig.
Right.
Especially in the wig with him being British, it just kind of... I enjoyed that character because it reminded me a lot of, like, Eric Idle from, like, Monty Python.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I was like, I like this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Steve Coogan's underrated, I think.
Okay. Bill Hader.
Bill Hader's a weird one for me.
I'll say
Wildly underrated.
Oh, see, I think it's the other way.
Really?
I do.
Yeah, I mean, Bill Hader is very, like he's
Bill
so
Hader
distinct.
as part of an ensemble
Uh-huh.
is one thing, but Bill Hader as a lead is another thing.
Have you watched Barry?
No.
I thought I hated...
Right, Superbad, he's great as a supporting role.
You have to watch Barry and then come back.
Very
Okay.
highly rated show. He plays like an
a serial
assassin.
killer,
It's like-
assassin thing.
It's marketed as like a dark comedy, and it has funny parts, but it's when it's dark, it's like very fucking dark and serious, and
Yeah.
it's so fucking good. Because I thought I hated Bill Hader, and then
okay.
I watched the SNL skits, The Californians, where like he can't keep straight like the entire thing. He's fucking losing it. And then he does Keith Morris from Dateline on SNL. Oh, the tale of the chopped up dead guy.
I think he's funny. But like as a lead in a movie, like I think of like Trainwreck, he's not fucking funny in.
I didn't see it.
Of course,
Yeah.
Trainwreck really wasn't that funny except for
Yeah.
what LeBron did.
I didn't love Trainwreck, but Bill Hader's just like so unique and distinct. His voice, obviously,
Yeah.
a lot of voiceover work, and
Yeah.
like as sort of a frantic kind of guy.
Right.
I mean, definitely great in small doses. I think.
I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys, there's only 2 seasons. If you guys
Okay.
get a weekend to binge Barry,
Very popular show.
please do so and come back because I would love to talk about it.
Okay. Cool.
So what are you guys saying? Underrated, overrated, equally rated?
I'd say
Fairly?
overrated is my. Yeah.
I'm saying fairly rated because I think there are things he's overrated in, and I think there are things he's underrated in.
Fair.
I think that's good. That's
Yeah.
a good
I
way
like
to put
that.
it.
Oh,
How do you say underrated for Matthew McConaughey? But I feel it in my bones.
Yes.
Like,
He
you know
is.
what? I'm gonna spin a little bit on this one. I'm
Okay.
gonna say Matthew McConaughey is not underrated as an actor, but he's underrated in life. Like, I think that he is just
yeah.
like I think he has transcended his acting at this point.
I
Like, he's
think-
doing all the teaching at University of Texas. He's got the book, which is a real big
Yeah.
thing. He's thinking about running for governor.
He'll
like,
be
right.
governor. He'll be governor.
He'll be
of Texas.
governor.
I think that Matthew McConaughey has just like transcended his acting career now.
Have you guys seen True Detectives?
I did not.
Josh?
Yes.
To be
Amazing.
to be the funny guy but still be serious and then see him as Russ Cole.
Yeah.
It's literally almost otherworldly acting. Like, he's so fucking mystical and cool and badass.
Yeah.
And
Does he own Texas yet? He's getting close.
shortly.
Him and Rogan are buying it together.
Yeah. If he runs for governor, he will win, I think, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I feel the personality of Matt has overtaken the actor Matt. I think that's kind of what
I
Justin's
think, yeah,
alluding
I
to.
agree. I think that's what I'm kind of saying, and I agree with for sure, because he's just become bigger. Like, people now
He's
just
not even an actor
yeah,
anymore.
like people
He's
used to
just
have been
Matthew
like, yeah, Matthew
McConaughey.
McConaughey is a funny stoner, and then they were like, oh, he's an actual good actor, and now it's just like, I just really like Matthew McConaughey.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I do really want to read his book. I heard it's fantastic.
Underrated performance in this film though.
Oh yeah,
As
the agent.
strictly
yeah.
comedy, playing across from Tom Cruise just on another fucking level.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, it was the two of them together are fucking hilarious.
Can you think of a bad McConaughey performance?
No. Even like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, like he's great in that.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously Jason Confused, he's fucking amazing. Yeah, no.
You guys should watch. This is shout out to everybody listening right now. You should watch a movie called The Beach Bum, which came out a couple years ago.
Fantastic.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays
Dark
like.
Tower
yeah.
is a terrible movie, but that's not McConaughey's fault, Timmy.
Oh, that's right. He did seem kind of terrible in that trailer, at least.
He's playing a role that I believe he was directed to play in the way that the script is written. However, the book The Dark Tower is one of the greatest books ever fucking written, and the director and whoever greenlit that script needs to come talk to me because we're going to have a fucking fist fight, then I'm going to fix your movie.
You did say that on the show once. We did a whole thing about it. I remember. That's true.
Meet him in the Ponderosa parking lot.
Yes, meet me in a Ponderosa parking lot. I'll crush 30 wings in your fucking face and not blink.
But I'm shouting out The Beach Bum because it's Matthew McConaughey. He literally plays a beach bum who just like sits around smoking weed all day and like writing a novel, and he hangs out with Snoop Dogg and Isla Fisher, and they're just like living the
It sounds
dream.
like Flake.
It's leaving. Do you ever see Spring Breakers?
Yeah.
It's the guy who did Spring Breakers' next movie.
Ooh.
So it's a lot. It's not as wild as that, but
Well,
it's
yeah,
a lot more
Spring
like
Breaker's pretty wild.
lazy Florida Sunshine.
Nice.
With Snoop and just like a awesomely funny cast.
I think I could get
He's
that
great. Yeah,
behind
It's
that.
great.
He is terrible in Lincoln commercial. Lincoln commercials. I give him credit for really playing that up, and
Yeah.
he's very clear about like, yeah, they're paying me a shit ton of money,
Right.
So
Yep.
respect him for making the bank.
Doesn't he
when-
do
Right.
like American Honey commercials too, or Wild Turkey?
Wild.
I think he
does
does.
an
I think he does
alcohol.
Wild Turkey.
Is it
Yeah.
Wild
Yeah,
Turkey?
I think so.
All right.
Just terrible movie production and script.
I'm
Oh,
going to
Dark
need
Tower.
you to take a big step back and fuck your face!
Oh my God, this is maybe the most underrated movie performance of all time.
It really is.
Yeah. And it's so great that it's Tom Cruise.
Right.
Because it's the last person on the face of the earth you would ever expect it to be.
Yeah.
And he just kills it. Like, Tom Cruise can act, but this is so completely different. Like, it's full on wet comedy.
Yes.
And he just kills it.
And like the suit. He looks like in Goldeneye when you put on Donkey Kong mode. Like his body is so big.
His hands
and
and
the
his
arms
are giant.
and
He's got
like
the glasses.
oh my
the chest hairs like
the
overflowing.
everything is so fucking good. How heavily prosthetic his face is.
Yeah.
Like it's just he put on a master class in comedy acting.
The line about you're gonna need a fucking UN sanction.
Yeah.
I was dead. I was.
You're
dead.
gonna need the fucking United Nations to come down there and get a fucking binding resolution.
Yeah.
I will massacre you.
And then he just like, that's how it's done. He just like straightens up, like collects himself, and then
Can
says
you find out who that was, please?
Yeah, exactly.
He's like a G5. No more bitch boy stuff.
Oh my god, and him dancing.
The dancing, yeah.
The dancing is so good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Under fucking rated performance. Not an actor, obviously.
No, yeah, I fairly rated actor
Tom Cruise.
His
is
early
the
stuff
Tom
is
Brady of the
stuff
acting world.
of legend, and now as he gets older, he's still just delivering hits.
That's an oddly perfect way to describe Tom
100%.
Cruise.
Tom Cruise is, oh, wow.
Tom Brady of the acting world. He just keeps
Pastor
going.
Sav, great fucking comment.
Just keeps winning and just keeps killing it.
Yep.
Him and Tom Brady probably hang out like smoking stem cells or some shit. Like,
Drinking coconut water.
yeah,
Yeah.
adrenochrome or whatever.
Yeah,
the fuck.
Good call on that one.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Brandon T. Jackson. Was
Who
he
the
in
fuck is this
anything
guy?
after?
He's been in stuff. Nothing. I mean, you know, he didn't really like go on to have a big career, but he's been in things for sure. Nothing that I can recall off the top of my head, but I think he was like in some. I don't know. Like, now I just have to look him up now because I'm
Yeah,
curious.
hang
But
on.
Brandon T. Jackson in this movie has Al Pacino, who loves the pussy.
Right.
I
but
love
is
the
gay.
pussy, but is a closeted gay man who has a crush on Lance Bass. Lance Bass, excuse me.
You know that. Don't try
Stop
to play it
it.
off like we don't know the dance to it.
He's
Bye, bye,
underrated.
bye.
He's underrated in this movie. Like in his career, he's whatever. Because I, can't think
Oh,
of too much
man.
else.
He's in
the
Big Mama's house.
Big
Ann
Mama's
Fisher,
house.
you still watching?
Yeah,
No, it's like a it's
Percy
one of the
Jackson
sequels.
movies. Like But yeah. So as a person or as an actor,
Whatever.
yeah.
Nobody
But
knows.
as an actor, he's probably fairly rated. But in this movie, underrated because he is funny in this movie.
Yes.
And he plays that role well.
Oh, he's in Buy You a Drank, the music video.
Okay.
Nice.
I have respect for anybody that's been on Drunk History. So
Oh, Roll Bounce. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. The skating movie, which there's an underrated movie.
Mm,
But
okay.
yeah.
All right. We already know how I feel about Jay Baruchel.
underrated.
I think Jay Baruchel is a very one-lane guy, but he's just perfect in his lane as like that
Pick
nerdy.
69.
you
It's
know.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Jay Baruchel.
He's just the nerdy guy who.
Why don't you like him again?
because he made Goon.
Because of the hockey movie, yeah. But like his character in She's Out of My League, like that's just he's that guy in everything, and I think he works as that guy.
I love seeing like a scrawny, self-deprecating guy on screen.
There you go.
I love it.
He's the king of that. I think there's a movie where he played the villain of like a major corporation or something. And he tried to be that kind of role, but it was kind of awkward. So
Yeah.
Jay Baruchel, I think, is fairly rated because he's good at the one thing that he does.
Right.
Knocked Up,
Oh yeah.
I will rear your child. Don't let him near the kid. He wants to rear the child.
Knocked Up is wildly underrated.
Yes. Yes.
If possible, it's a classic.
What's
right?
wrong with Goon? Josh just doesn't think it's realistically
Goon
portrayal of
is-
hockey.
It
guess.
is. It's not even a comedic portrayal of hockey. It's just a bad comedy movie with hockey in it. It's a terrible use of hockey as a vehicle in a movie.
I like Sean.
You want to see a good comedy hockey movie? Watch Slapshot.
Hmm.
You want to see a great hockey movie? You watch Miracle. You want to love hockey? You watch The Mighty Ducks. It's hilariously bad though. No, it's not, Timmy. It really is not. It's terrible. Amazing, and This Is the End was his most versatile role.
Could we pull up his credits?
I mean, he's just like in that same role in every movie.
I
A
feel
lot
like-
of Seth Rogen movies, obviously. But
I feel like he's in something that I really like that I'm forgetting about.
How to Train Your Dragon?
That's definitely not it.
he's the voice of what's the guy's name? Hiccup. Yeah, that's right. There, he's Letterkenny, Josh. He's in 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Your favorite.
And when he shows up in Letterkenny, I'm pissed.
RoboCop. Didn't see the remake of that one.
He's in Lovesick.
This Is the End. Goon. Sorcerer's Apprentice. There you go.
Sorcerer's Apprentice is a good movie.
Fanboys. Nick
Maybe
and Nora. Oh
not.
yeah, he's the asshole boyfriend in Nick
Yeah,
and Nora.
Nick and Nora.
Real Time.
Like, he's in movies I love, but I don't like him.
That's fair.
Wait, he was on Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Couple episodes of that, it looks like.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was not in Freaks and Geeks, which I thought he was for
No.
a second, but he's
No,
not.
no,
It'd
No,
be
wait,
on
Stephen
brand,
Karp,
though.
he's in Undeclared. That's why I'm thinking that. Yeah.
There we go.
There you go. All right.
Jack Black.
Underrated. Wildly
I think it's
underrated.
hard
It's
to
one of
say-
those ones that's like such a goat level that it's hard to be underrated, but you know in your heart of hearts he is.
Definitely 100% agree with that. Because it's like, Jack Black by now. You just know him. Everybody knows him and what he does. But then you see him in Jumanji and you just
He's-
like, man, he's still fucking killing it.
Well, and he's changed his type of comedy.
I don't know if that's true.
Well, he used to be so slapsticky, fat guy, ha-ha, joke comedy, and then he kind of got like, I'm like witty, banty, back and forth kind of comedy, and now he's like doing like what he's doing in Jumanji, where he's like playing almost a cowardice character and very like squeamish, and like I think for comedy he has range. Does that make any sense?
Yeah,
No.
it does. Yeah, I would say he's probably a little underrated, and he's done roles that are a little bit more serious that a lot of people like this movie called The Holiday with Cameron Diaz and Jude Law and Kate Winslet that he's in as like one. Imagine that quartet. It's Kate
Oh,
Winslet,
man.
Jude Law, Cameron Diaz, and then Jack Black as like two couples. But everyone loves that movie. Obviously, you're a big fan of
School
High
Rock.
Fidelity.
High Fidelity
Yeah,
is awesome.
Great in
High
that movie.
Fidelity.
So yeah, Jack Black is underrated, even though, like Zach said, he's at the A list for
right,
sure.
right.
Shout out Shallow Hal.
Yes.
Shallow
Another
Hal.
great one.
Boy, would that movie have problems today.
Oh,
my
yeah.
God.
Fuck him.
But it's so good.
I just tried to pick the most handsome picture of him that I could.
Did a great fucking
Should
job.
have picked his mugshot.
Yeah.
If
You're
you
gonna
could
have to
find it.
hold me back from making out with the screen.
What a storied career, and a guy that at this point is kind of starting to reach McConaughey level of like it's just Robert Downey Jr. Like
Yeah, like going back, if you're unfamiliar, because I don't know if I've ever said it on the show, but I went back and started watching the Marvel movies.
mhm.
Like,
He is Tony Stark.
he's Tony Stark.
He's Tony Stark.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's almost like a great athlete where you kind of want him to hang it up pretty soon because you're worried about some of the roles like Dr. Doolittle and like
Yeah.
Well, now that Avengers is over, especially.
right, you're kind of like worried about like him falling into like some really weird roles that might taint his legacy as being this brilliant fucking actor who also could pull off the big franchises.
He was great in Sherlock Holmes.
great in Sherlock Holmes.
I don't.
The or is it the
The
pianist?
Soloist.
The Soloist.
I
Thank
was gonna
you.
say I don't think it's an under or like a slept-on movie, but I think people just like forget about it. But The Soloist is a great fucking movie.
He's phenomenal in Zodiac.
Yeah,
Mm.
but those are at the beginning or before the Marvel universe, right?
Right.
The movies he's done since then, besides Sherlock Holmes, like he did a movie called The Judge with Robert Duvall, which was
Oh yeah.
and then Dr. Doolittle obviously was a bust. But I think it's going to be really hard for him. I think he's going to suffer from James Bond syndrome of being really hard to leave that character and that role behind.
I agree.
Here's
I
a-
agree.
Here's a great remedy. Never put fucking Mark Ruffalo in another movie, and then just have Robert Downey Jr. play every role that Mark Ruffalo could be in.
You just hate him so much. And I just watched 13 Going on 30, and he's delightful in it. He's very charming.
He's not. He's not bad. I don't fuck it. There. Do you know? There's a Mark Ruffalo movie where like his son gets killed, and he's trying to find the guy that like ran over his son in like a DUI. Have you guys ever seen this fucking movie?
No.
I can't
think
think of
so.
the name of it, but it's fucking great.
Mm.
Yeah.
But I hate him still. I hate him.
Pastor Asab says probably his best role. Blackface would never fly again. Absolutely. We talked about that on the show earlier, I think.
What if they made Tropic Thunder 2 like next year, and he just did blackface again?
I think you're playing with fire at that point.
Yeah,
Well, I
too
mean-
too far past
2021,
the
you're playing
expiration
with
date.
fire.
But imagine though, like his stance being like, I'll now never act again, and I'm okay with that because I have more money than Christ from the Avengers, or I'll pull it off and I'll still be the fucking man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what does that say?
Y'all need to stop thinking this man isn't going to just hang it up or start doing trash movies. This dude, Denzel and Leo, will never fall out. They will be like, De Niro.
Yeah.
I hope so. And
I hope so
people-
too.
Downey Jr. Identifies so much with Tony Stark, especially for the younger generation. But as an actor, he's incredibly talented.
Yes.
And he's done a ton of roles, like you said, Zodiac, Charlie Bartlett, Chaplin, of course, which
Yep.
is his first, Academy Award nomination, or I guess his only one, but earlier in his career. He's an incredibly talented actor,
Mm-hmm.
but he's gotten so big now. It's one of those situations where when you get to such a high level, it's hard to watch a movie with them. Like if he went and did a smaller character drama or some kind of indie film, would you be able to separate the man from the myth?
Yeah.
You know.
No, I get that.
I really hope that he continues to make work because I think he's incredibly talented.
yeah.
Give me Robert Downey Jr. in like a Robert Eggers A24 like horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something Lighthouse-esque, you know.
Oh yeah.
Like him and Defoe in a movie.
Too much star power.
Yeah,
Too much power.
It'd be
I think
fucking
he's got
great,
such a.
though.
He's now up to God. He has such a powerful screen presence.
Yeah.
That it's hard to, like what ensemble are you gonna put him in after he was, the lead of the Avengers and everything.
As I just said, Robert Eggers A24. Like,
Right.
I realized I just wanted like a serious Satan's Alley. Like I just wanted him as like an older priest.
There's a
like,
movie that he
go.
could do.
Yeah.
There it is.
Call Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
No, do a Chalamet.
Oh yeah, that would
Yeah.
be a cool one. Yeah.
Or it's just Call Me by Your Name Part 2. Anyway, Jason put in something very fucking funny. He would in Tropic Thunder 2 be played by another actor because he's so method that he has face reconstructed to be true to the script.
Face Off 2. That I just
Face
saw.
Off 2.
There you
I just
go.
saw Face Off 2. Evidently, greenlit, possibly
Yeah.
Nick Cage and John Travolta
The guy
reprising their
who
roles.
directed Kong vs. Godzilla,
Interesting.
Ooh.
who comes from a horror background. Adam Wingard.
Give me Castor Troy all fucking
There
day.
you go. And then finally, I think we've kind of already said enough about this guy, but I don't know if he's underrated, but he is definitely well-deserved proper rating of being a great comedy actor.
I think he's underrated a little bit as a director too. I can't remember what else he's directed though,
Let me look
besides
it up.
Tropic Thunder. But I'm fairly certain that's not his only movie. Yeah, Ben Stiller's certainly underrated, and underrated in dramatic roles too. The stuff he did with Noah Baumbach, like Greenberg and This Is 40, or not This Is 40. While We're Young.
Secret Life of Walter Schmidt or
Walter Mitty he
Mitty.
directed. Yeah, you just click on directed. Yeah, Walter Mitty was a really great movie, and that's a super underrated movie for sure.
It is. It is.
Danny Mora was supposed to be a really highly well-reviewed limited series. Let's keep at Danny Mora, I should say. Oh, he directed. Wait, are you on actor right now or
No,
director?
I'm on
He directed
directed.
The Cable Guy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and Zoolander.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there you go. Underrated as a director. Reality Bites. That was a big movie back in the 90s.
Yeah.
So.
No, Ben Stiller, the man. Zach,
Yes, sir.
what are we watching?
So, we've done a lot of funny movies. We've done a lot of like cult classics.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that we haven't done like a lot. I know we did Mars Attacks, but in the sense of it being like a cult classic. But we haven't really done anything like sci-fi really, right?
I think
We
before,
did Arrival.
Before that, Arrival, E.T. But yeah, I would say we've is Rocky Horror Picture Show sci-fi?
Oh, touche.
It's a sci-fi double feature, from what I understand.
Touche. So, I wanted to do something that's like kind of newer, kind of like indie, that I think has the potential to be a cult classic,
Okay.
but also like not a funny movie, but one that we'll definitely have fun with.
Okay.
So we're gonna do 2019's Nicolas Cage in The Color Out of Space. It's an adaptation of an H.P. Lovecraft story. It's got Nicolas Cage. It's got Tommy Chong. And it is a fun, suspenseful, interesting sci-fi flick.
Wild.
Well, Nicolas Cage these days is just doing like the most bizarre Nicolas
Just being
Cage shit
Nicolas
Have
Cage.
in
you
the
guys
world.
have you guys seen Mandy?
Mm-mm.
It's not as hardcore as Mandy, but it's also like when it is, it's visually stunning.
Okay. Okay.
Sure.
It's a good
Cool.
one to watch in the dark and just.
I'm never against watching a crazy batshit Nicolas Cage movie.
Sorry,
Right.
Steph. I
Yeah.
know Steph isn't here, but Steph hates fucking Nicolas Cage.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he's certainly one that we can have fun with.
Who's Kong, Travolta or Cage?
Cage.
You think that makes Travolta Godzilla?
John Travolta is 100% a reptile person.
Well, that's true. That is true.
100%
That is true.
an
All right.
alien man.
All right. So next week we are watching
The Color Out of Space.
The Color Out of Space. I'm gonna have to write that down. And then, yeah. So we'll be back next week for thoughts from the movies.
We'll dive into some Nicolas Cage-ness.
It'll be good.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called. I just know the sound it makes when it takes a man's life.
On what streaming service do we find this movie? Do you know, Zach?
I saw it in theaters, but I think I've also watched it on Prime. You might have to rent it.
Hang on. That was such a good way to end it. The color
Out of Space.
out of space. Streaming.
Oh, trippy looking poster there.
There it is.
Oh yeah.
Amazon Prime subscription. You can watch it on Amazon Prime.
Yeah. Or Apple TV.
Well, that's for rent. See the
okay.
price. This is premium subscription.
Oh, so it's on Prime. You can
Yep.
watch it for
you'll be
free.
able to watch it on Prime.
Awesome.
So there you go. All right. Now my big line was ruined.
Say it again. Say it again.
Wait. Hang on. I got one. I got another one. I
Say
didn't
the
just
line we
remember.
all want you to really
That's
say. to
C4,
end this.
dipshit. I said a detonator.
I'm just a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. We'll see you next week.